What in the world is going on, everybody out there in the land of YouTube? How are all of y'all doing? I am so excited about tonight's show. I am so freaking happy. So freaking happy. He who hesitates is lost. Yeah, I'm so happy about tonight, guys. Guys, it's been a heck of a week. We already got 12 people in here. It's been like 2 minutes since the stream started. That is fan-stinking-tastic. Please, for the love of everything nice and Christmas time, hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not already. I think like 45 or 60% or some number like that is who watch these things is not subscribed to the channel. That means you hear me, you come around a lot, you hear my guests, and you still don't like us enough to subscribe. Super simple. Hit that button. Do me a favor. Also, hit that like button. There is also a link in the to the Discord in the description below. Go check that out. We have a Discord. It does things. It's kind of cool. It really doesn't do anything except give us a place to talk and chat. What is up, everybody? Here, Warawana, Outsider Gaming Night, Zero Steel, Cosmic Hero 250. Hey, he's on the panel tonight. Toolman 55, Hero Down Under, Michael Meridian, Brian East. What's up, Brian? Oh my goodness, James Williams, Emmanuel, what is up? This is going to be a good night. Also, guys, there are a couple different ways you can help support the channel. Doing everything I mentioned, clicking all the buttons, doing all that is free. You can also hit the join button and become a member. Here are the current sleeve monkeys. The tribe of the monkey sleeve has spoken. That's the wrong button. Hang on. Here it is. Hey, here are the current sleeve monkeys. We have a wonderful time here. You can get access to emojis. You get access to our PoE guild. And we will be doing a once a month stream with some multiplayer game that we can all get on and play together. Or we're going to be doing a stream and it's going to rotate depending, where y'all can see me die a whole lot in Elden Ring or Sekiro or any of those other really awful games that are made by mean people. And so, yeah, thank you again to those who do have a membership and to those who gift. And with all of that, let's go over tonight's topics because my goodness. It is official, guys. Mark Cerny is absolutely a Nexus being. There's no question in my mind. He is the cornerstone of this universe. I am telling you right now. Actually, he's not. That's Jesus. But you get what I'm saying. And then Xbox did it, guys. I swear to goodness. I swear. We have a saying on this channel that Xbox can't do two things right in a row, and Lord help it doesn't disappoint. So they had like really good critic reviews with Indiana Jones. Their games, Call of Duty won a couple awards. Like, nice, fantastic. At least I think it won an award. I think one of their games did, but it wasn't one of like their games. It was one of the games they bought. And so, anyways, we're going to be discussing all of that. Sorry, I read something in chat and it kind of derailed me. But they had the Game Awards and didn't really do that well there, but it was okay. But, you know, the bad news has to come, and it has to come quickly because they can't have good news stick around for too long. And so we are going to talk about that bad news today. And then we're going to get with the panel that, like, what is our game of the year, right? We all play games. We all like different types of games. We all play different types of games. So what is our game of the year? That's going to be for me, for Falky, and for Cosmic. And then Hellblade 2. Ooh, we got a really juicy article. Yeah, mistakes were made. And it's not just that the game is a walking simulator with really cool background ambient noises. And then 2025 and beyond. The Game Awards was this last week. Astrobot. Heck yeah, I feel really vindicated for that, but then again, I feel sleazy for saying I feel vindicated because the Game Awards is nothing but a bunch of dipsticks who get around who probably don't play a lot of the games and are critics, and they vote on the titles, and people are saying that Sony probably paid off Jeff Keighley to help boost the sales, and there's all this other crap with it. But there were a lot of really cool games that were shown. So we're going to talk about that and kind of what we're excited for coming up on the horizon. Holy crud, that was my fastest and shortest intro. With all of that, let's bring in everybody on the panel. And by everybody, I mean Cosmic Hero 270 and Uncle Davey, or David Faulkner, or the great Fauky. Cosmic Hero, we'll start with you. How the heck are you, sir?
I am fantastic, man. I'm really looking forward to tonight's show. I messaged you earlier. It's going to be a banger of a show, man. Just the bloodbath that happened yesterday of Satya Nadella basically murdering Xbox on live television. I'm surprised he got away with that, but
I'm about to say unedited. Just unedited.
Yeah, unedited. It was just straight to it, like, no holding back. But I'm great to be here. I hope all of my American friends have had a good Thanksgiving. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm blessed to be here, and I'm looking forward to tonight.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Did you throw your voice there for a second?
I don't think I did. It
Okay.
might have been Discord.
It's when you said American friends, it sounded a little different there for a second. So,
oh, did it?
Yeah.
I just said American friends.
There it goes.
Maybe it did.
It was interesting. All right. And Fauky, how are you doing, man?
He was here. He left.
Oh, okay. Well,
yes, he might be busy.
he probably is. I'm telling you, he probably is. That's fine. He teases us sometimes. This is. I'm so sorry. I just got pulled away. Oh, no, dog. You have a. He's not coming back. He's not.
Nope.
He just texted me what happened, and trust me, for the love of God, he's not coming back. Emmanuel, I'm telling you, dude, I don't like doing jump-ins anymore. It kind of throws off everything. Me and the other two guys have been talking all day about this stuff, kind of back and forth things. And so if you want on, please, for the love of goodness, you're in the Discord. Hit me up in the Discord and I can get you on. I'm currently scheduling for February and March. So I'd love to have you, though. The audience loves having you on. I just don't like doing jump-ins anymore. And so, oh my goodness, dude. God, I know I told you we'd go with the vegetables first. I know I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have no idea what we're talking about, though.
Okay, so here's the deal, guys. When we're talking about a show, right? Think about a show in terms of like a really nice dinner, right? And so like you got your steamed, not steamed. You got your roasted broccoli here. You got your loaded mashed potatoes here. But then you got a big old steak, and that's the thing you really, really want. That's the thing you want. You want that steak. And like the way that looks tonight is Xbox did it and Mark Cerny is a Nexus Bane. Those are like your steak. Game of the Year from the Playground, Hellblade 2, and 2025 and beyond. See, that's your vegetables. That's your steamed or roasted broccoli. That's your mashed potatoes. That's your gravy. That's not the main dish. And so I was telling her tonight, I was like, hey man, I think we're gonna start with the other first because I wanted to get into it. But also at the same time, I got bored today, and so I played with some AI stuff, and so I have some stuff I want y'all to listen to that's related to the other topics. This is not going to be a every week thing, I swear, but it was really fun. Like, if you ever get a chance, just go create a song using AI. It's hilarious. So, I figured it out. I figured out who killed Xbox. The mystery is actually solved. And it got solved through song. And so, maybe you'll like this. Maybe. Let's see.
Maybe.
With a flair for the dramatic, they conquer their spells. Villains bent to maneuver where ambition dwells. Eyes on the prize, they move with stealth. Matt and Sarah set the stage, plotting for wealth. By the enemy, craft the storyline unseen and unheard. Or elevates intentions, sharpened by the word. They orchestrate the downfall, scheming the design. Leaders of the shadow, blurring every sign. When plants a twisted germ complex like a maze. Chasing down the echo in a ruthless race. Feeling spits upon with a mean streak. They're scheming, they want Xbox to be weak. Mac reassurance gears are in motion. Taking down the brand with pure devotion. By the name, got plans in secrecy. Hood raises up the stakes, ain't no decency. Standing in the shadows, pulling strings with skill. Together they aim, Xbox they kill. They wanna see it roll, bring a violent rhyme. Leaders of destruction taking out the prime. They playing in it blind all night and day. A shared vision, Xbox led astray. Late night meetings, plotting in the dark. Strategies unfold, each leaving their mark. Tech was igniting, whispers of deceit. The mission set, moving fast, can't retreat. Feeling special leading, the masterminds they claim. Wildwood Sarah, stoke the burning flame. Amy and Pond navigate the scene, ready to shake up the gaming regime. They're building up schemes like a tower so tall. Xbox in the sights, they seek its downfall. With hoods guiding hand and sat in silent nod. In this Game of Thrones, of the mother's life fought. Sneaking through the wires, they got the master plan. Phil keeping the base, calling shots with their hands. Spencer got the intel, eat the voice at the scene. There goes destruction, breaking Xbox machine. Hood got the playbook, the architect of roles. Prosthetics just flying high, sitting back in stealth mode. Deception the tool, paying false dreams. Tech kingdom crumblies, that's how it seems. They want to see it roll, bring a final rhyme. Leaders of destruction taking out the prime. They playing in their pride all night and day. A shared vision, Xbox led.
Whew, man. Like, all I did was type in the people's names and it, like, Xbox and what happened, and this shit popped up. Like, I didn't do a damn thing. It was great.
They made a whole rap.
They died. They killed it. They killed it.
Oh
It's
my
all
God,
of them.
that's-
I'm fully convinced it's an inside job from every daggum one of them. Satya, Matt, Amy, Phil, Sarah, every single one of them. They were all brought in to kill a different division of the Xbox console. I have no doubt in my mind. He wrote down under said it's good prompt engineering. Where's the Warawana, where's the vote to never let Thrifty do that again? Oh, that was so fun. No,
man,
it's been fun. So a few weeks ago, I used AI to grab my 3 images, and one of them would never come out, so I didn't use it. It kept giving like doubles of the image just mirrored onto each other, and it was real weird. But like the Ubisoft with the blood splatter look, that was made by AI, and that was kind of cool because I don't know how to do all the editing stuff, and so it was really fun. I got one more song for you, but we're gonna save that one for later, and it's actually better than that one. That one was my first one. The second one, I kind of figured out some of the slides that you could use to adjust the prompting and adjust. Anyways, that doesn't matter. AI is stupid, but it's fun. If we could have just left it at its fun, I think the world would have been a much better place. Anyways, that's a philosophical talk for another time.
Oh yeah, that's another can of worms.
All right, so let's start with Hellblade 2. That was one of the requests in the chat. Let's start with Hellblade. Duh. All right, so this is from one of my favorites. I have not covered any of her articles in a while. It's from Zarmina Khan, and it is she talks about who she actually, I think she did. Yeah. She credits Jez Corden with the actual article because I think he did the original source material. But it says Hellblade 2 Xbox exclusivity considered a mistake by Microsoft. A Microsoft insider, that's rich, has claimed that Xbox's strategy of launching Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 on PS5 has been considered a mistake by the company. Prior to Ninja Theory's acquisition, the original release, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, launched as a timed PS4 exclusive and went on to become a commercial success. No shit. We buy games. Will Hellblade 2 release on PS5? Insider and Windows Central writer Jez Corden, that's bootleg Jez, not our Jez, claims to have heard from his source that Microsoft considers Hellblade 2's Xbox exclusivity a mistake. Corden said that this in response to an ex-user who had asked him why games like Indiana Jones and Outer Worlds 2 are going multi-platform while Hellblade 2 has been restricted. And then it goes through what actually was said. Let them off free Xbox. Damn. I didn't read that part. I stopped after the first thing, and I was like, yeah, that'll be good. I like that. Since Microsoft doesn't share sales data because they're scared, and releases first-party games on Game Pass, we don't know the exact sales figures for Hellblade 2. However, Circana's Matt Piscatella, that man's doing the Lord's work, previously revealed that the game ranked 37th overall for May 2024 in the US. Considering Hellblade 2 is a single-player game that can be one and done, we don't imagine Game Pass users flocking to purchase it. No shit. You don't say. At the same time, Hellblade 2 is hardly a selling point for Game Pass, given the series' history on PlayStation. We're not surprised to see Corden's tweet. As for whether Hellblade 2 will release on PS5 or not, rumor has it that it is only a matter of time before it is ported over. Gee, no kidding. Before I dive into what I have, Cosmic, what do you have? We buy games except Astrobot. It's apparently too good for PS dudes to buy. That's right, man. Only those of us with refined, amazing, chiseled palates can actually appreciate the beauty and the perfection that is Astrobot, which I think I said was a Game of the Year contender. I think I did that. Now, I did say I didn't think it would win, but I thought it would get nominated. And it did get nominated.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea it was going to win.
Oh, that's a whole can of other worms.
But real quick, we'll come back to that. What do we? Yeah. But I'm a man of culture. Hell yeah, you are, Nelson. You are a man of Nelson's gaming culture. So Cosmic, what do you think about this? She really hit some high points that we've been hitting for months now. Yeah. But what do you think, man?
I played the original Hellblade 1, and I thought it was a very, very fantastic game. You know, the studio was struggling. Sony came in, helped them. Game sold 1 million plus. It was an as quoted industry darling, you know, and it's a good game, you know. And then comes along Microsoft, buys them, and then they spend, God, how long making the next game? Like 7 years. They made when did Hellblade 1 come out? 2016, 2017?
Yeah, I think it was 7 years.
That was a long time, and you had Hellblade 2, you know, announced at the beginning of the Xbox Series X, like when they announced the console, and then we heard nothing about the game for years. So now, fast forward till 2024, the game releases. Aaron Greenberg, who's supposed to be the marketing head, doesn't do his goddamn job and market the game, just says, here's a tweet, go have fun. Oh, and by the way, you can make a custom controller that you have to go into our store and actually make. So yeah, that really helps the marketing there, Aaron Greenberg.
That man's a genius. You leave him alone. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Nobel Prize winning genius in the making.
This is an Xbox. This is. Go ahead. Keep going.
So I watched Jez, not bootleg Jez, normal Jez.
The real Jez.
Play real Jez. Real Jez. Played the game. The man yawned 20 plus times throughout the entire game. I nearly fell asleep watching him play the game.
God.
And Senua did nothing but walk around. For an hour straight, there was just nothing but running around in a dark cave, lighting torches. And yes, there was combat, but it was very limited. You know, Hellblade 1's combat was at least a little bit more expansive than Hellblade's 2. And I don't know how you go back in reverse with this. You know, you would think that the sequel to the game would improve upon the combat. Senua would get new powers or new abilities or new weapons, to use. No. It's just a 5-hour walking simulator with her talking to herself. So
Wara had some pushback, and I had to fact check him, but he is right. Wara said they did do another game between Hellblade 1 and Hellblade 2.
Did they?
It was
I
it
don't
was
remember that game.
it was called Bleeding Edge.
Oh, that's right. No wonder I don't remember it. Or Jez called it bleeding ass.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, man, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, thank you, Wara, because I completely forgot about that game existed.
Well, also, to be fair, that was a Windows and Xbox game from what I'm reading, so I wouldn't have. That would have been so far away from my radar that it wouldn't have even mattered.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that like some sort of like hero shooter game or something?
Bro,
Did they try to make...
Dog, I have no idea. To this day, I couldn't tell you anything about the game except its name and that it's more funnier to say bleeding ass. I really don't like.
Yeah, I've known nothing about the game.
Wara said I didn't say it was good.
Oh, I didn't. I know, Wara. I know you didn't say that, but like it. I was like, oh yeah, that game does exist. It was a thing.
Oh, Brian East said the best part of Jez's stream was how he found options in the setting of Hellblade 2 to completely automate the attack and defense.
He just put it on and he sat there and he just watched the game play itself. Have you ever watched a game play itself? I don't think I ever have.
Isn't that just a movie? Like,
I would imagine so.
Like, isn't that just a movie?
It's just
Hey,
a movie.
I will say this. Seeing the actress live at the Game Awards, they did one hell of a job on the look of the game. Like, they did fantastic.
It looks good.
With the character model. Yeah. I mean, that's all the game has going for it. But they did that really well. That is insane. That is an insane level of quality when I look at that. Honestly, I relate it. It's almost on a Cyberpunk 2077 level with Idris Elba and how good he looks in the game. Like, yeah. Hey, what up, Josh? What's up? What's up? By the way, guys, thank y'all for coming. We are discussing Hellblade 2 right now, and we're going to go a little deeper, though, because, pause, we're going to go a little deeper onto this, because we do see games like Indiana Jones. The guy who asked the question actually asked a very good, pointed question. Why are we going to kneecap games like Hellblade 2, Avowed, and South of Midnight? What's the point of keeping those exclusive and allowing Indiana Jones, Doom, and Outer Worlds 2 to be multi-plat? Like, the guy makes a good point.
That's a very good point.
Like, why are we going to cripple these other titles? We know that PS gamers will even buy shitty games. Like, we will. There were 50,000 of these idiots that... Not idiots. I love these people. I know some of these people. They're good people. They really are. And they are smart gamers, and I shouldn't have said idiots because that's lumping them in with it. And one of the guys I know I would consider a friend, and I know for a fact he's not an idiot. But people bought Concord. Like, people bought that game.
Yeah, people bought 7-year-old Sea of Thieves when it came to PlayStation. That was the first time it charted on MPD ever.
Right. People bought... And by the way, guys, I'm not looking at chat right now. I'm so sorry. I am standing up because I'm energized right now. It's so freaking insane. We buy games. I'll be dang. I bought so many games in the month of November. It's not even funny. Now, granted, most of them I got for sub $20, but I bought quite a few games. And because of that, I thought I wasn't going to buy any more games in November or in December. Well, I didn't technically buy a game. I bought half a game. I bought half a game that's going to be... The whole game is going to be free in about a year. So... Like, I have all the games I could possibly want, and I still am looking forward to buying more games. Like, I don't think that the Xbox faithful realize how important it is to these companies to sell their games.
Satya realizes it.
Satya does.
Just a little foreshadowing there. You might need to
It's
make
the
this
worst.
like.
It's the worst 120 seconds in of.
Oh yeah,
It's the worst 120 seconds of for Xbox this generation. Like,
dude, if you show that video, you might need to like pixelate it because you're watching a murder right on stream.
Right on stream. Actually,
right on stream. You need to like R18 this shit. You need to like make sure it's not suitable for children.
Oh, Steven Leon with the gifted 10 members. Woo! Freddy214, Easy E, Mr. Johnson, Nelson Gaming Culture, one of the faithful here. Brian East, another one. Cfresh2180, Adam Bader. Hey, Cosmic, you got gifted a membership. Marty
Yay.
McFly, Maniolus got hit with that member bomb. Sorry, guys, I'm really amped up for tonight. Like, thanks, Stephen. Appreciate you, dude.
I think you needed that break, Thrifty.
I did. I needed something. So, like, but dear God, we buy games. We buy our games. And a game like Avowed, a game like South of Midnight, I have so many people who I know who are like, dude, that South of Midnight game looked pretty cool. I wanted to get it. I think I'm going to get it. And as soon as I tell them, they're like, but I don't have an Xbox. I guess I'll just play it on PC. And I'm like, you do realize that like all their games are coming to PlayStation, right? No, oh, really? When did that happen? Oh, look, here's this clip from today. Oh, he really said that? Yes, he really said that. Literally had that conversation with a client of mine. He's a 60-plus-year-old man who him and his buddies are on Xbox, and they play Call of Duty for 5 hours a day, and he's just living his best life. And I was like, dude, you play Call of Duty? He's like, heck yeah, I play. I was like, I play 5 hours a day. I'm like, dude, that's really awesome. And we got to talking, and he figured out I was a PlayStation guy, and he ridiculed me. He was like, you're a PlayStation guy. Man, Sony fanboys, man. I bet you think that Xbox just sucks. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, let me ask you something. I said, why are you on Xbox? He was like, well, that's just where all my friends are. And that's where I have Game Pass and all that. And if I want to play these new games, they're coming to Game Pass. I get them for day one for just the subscription. I said, yes. But if you had a PS5, you'd still get those games later on. And they'd be optimized and better. He goes, what do you mean? They're putting games everywhere? I said, oh. This guy's a normie. He doesn't watch the news. He doesn't watch this channel. He doesn't watch Jez on Mondays or Porter Rock on Tuesdays or Mooch on Thursdays. He doesn't do that. He doesn't watch State of Gaming on Saturdays. He doesn't do that. Or Sundays, sorry. He doesn't watch Autoplayer Podcast on Saturdays. And so I sat there and I like broke it down to him, and he was like, man, why are they doing that? And I was like, well, honestly, it's because we at PlayStation buy the games. And he goes, yeah, I have no reason to buy it if they're just going to give it to me every month. I'm like, Jesus.
And the fact they spent so much money.
And the fact they spent so much. Golly. Jay's Wade, Satya looking like that guy from Street Fighter. Xbox, wasn't that Dalsim? Xbox fanboys mad about Astrobots. Hey man, listen, I don't know. Jeff Keighley could have been paid off. Who knows? Ooh,
Imagine that.
This this is a test. Steven, I won't know if anything processes properly until tomorrow. But yeah, everything from last week, you need to call your whoever, because it didn't actually go through. So it made me kind of concerned for you. And so this is a test. Yes, it was. Yeah. Goku. Goku, it's time to go Saiyan. Heck yeah, man. Goku 1973. He's usually the first one in the chat. I truly appreciate that. But guys, this does feed into the topics for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Xbox cannot survive and is not surviving and not going to survive at all. And to be fair, is dead. Like, I don't have to wonder. I don't have to put the thing up where it's all the pallbearers carrying the coffin down, and the coffin has Xbox all over it. Shout out to Warawana, he made that, and it's still one of my favorite thumbnails. But like, I don't have to do that anymore. It's over. They're dead. Like the Xbox, it is
Mm-hmm.
over. It is so over.
Kaput. Done.
There's no chance in hell. Josh Ayers, 7 months getting closer to a year. So, fun fact, I did not think that this channel would last this long, even with the memberships and all of that. So, I need to go in and I need to make some new different color badges for our members because we have some that are a few months away from getting a 12-month member badge, and after that there isn't another one, so I have to fix that. So I did not think this was going to take off like it did. So thank y'all for that. Y'all are freaking awesome. Cosmic, you're a big part of that. You've been here in and out every week in, week out, unless you're sleeping, which we all understand that. So, dude, appreciate you, man.
No problem. I'm here to support the sleeve monkeys.
Support the sleeve monkeys. That's right.
Where did you come up with that name? Was that just a random name one day?
One night we had Tornado Screw on here, and he said you let the monkey out of the sleeve, and I went on a little bit of a tangent, and made a joke about it. Did the whole thing. Josh Ayers called us sleeve monkeys, I think, in the chat, and that just stuck. That's just it. It's a turn of phrase in Holland. I think I'm gonna get that wrong.
I think that's where Tornado
Dutch?
is from.
Holland. I think that's where he's from. Yeah, it's a turn of phrase in Holland that basically means let the cat out of the bag. And you let the monkey out of the sleeve. Like if the monkey's in the sleeve, once the monkey's out of the sleeve, you're not getting it back in there, right? That's the whole thing. And something about sleeve monkeys. I deserve a badge. Outsider Gaming Night. Yes, you do. As a matter of fact, turn on your gifted members, because I swear to goodness, you should have been hit about 1,000,000 times by now. You and Zero, actually.
Yeah, two of them get skipped a lot. I
don't know why. That's weird. But yeah, we have Tornado is from the Netherlands. Okay, gotcha. So this is going to feed a little bit into our later topic, so we're going to put a pin in it for right now. I do. Zero said it's fine. I do want to talk about the Game Awards, because there was some pretty cool stuff that got shown. There were some pretty cool things. Honestly, I was talking to Cosmic about this earlier, and I swear this was the best show of the year. It really was. And there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about tonight. And let me tell you what we're not going to talk about. And it's not because I don't fight for the cause. It's not because I'm down with the woke or whatever the hell anybody wants to say about me. It's not because I'm playing both sides of the fence. I'm not going to talk about The Witcher 4 and how supposedly they updated the model on Ciri, and even though she's wearing 85 pounds of what looks to be leather armor stacked on top of her in triple layers, that we know what she looks like underneath, and it has to be bad. We're not going to talk about that. We're also not going to talk about the main character from Intergalactic and whatever else you want to put on that. I will not. I'm also not going to be talking about how the Intergalactic main character mixed with the Ghost of GoTY main character, mixed with this other main character, mixed with that. I'm not going to be talking about that either. And the reason why is because in the first two cases, Intergalactic and Ghost of GoTY, we have been given zero reason to believe one way or another. Zero. One, the actor who plays the character supports that community. The second one, the chick got a bald head.
That's about it.
Everything else is speculation and inference, and I will not be a part of that. Period. I maintained and held my judgment for the last game, Veilguard, until after it was released and after people talked about and showed exactly what it had in it. And I'm going to do the exact same for these two games. Until we know more information, I'm not saying a word. So, with that being said, let's hop into the freaking Game Awards. I am super excited. Member for 6 months. It was nice to talk to you, brother. I'm glad I sniped Cosmic. Let's get let's get PoE2 guild going. F all this anti-woke people. They're just as bad. It's all control. Absolutely. Yes. Okay. So PoE2. I mentioned earlier we do have a guild. It is open for members only currently. If that doesn't pan out and we don't get our 10 members in there, in a month or so, I will be opening it up to everybody. But as a treat to the members, I'd like to offer the first 10 slots to our members. Because each additional 10 slots cost another $10. And so, what's up, Bill Bosch? And so, you can join us if you do not know my PlayStation account. It is thriftyps_gr. That is thriftyps_gr. Link up with me. Let me know who you are on YouTube. And we can get in PoE together, and I have to send you an invite and then get you into the guild. We can do raids with that once we hit the end game. We can help each other clear maps. We can do all of that crap. And you really, if you like, even if you don't like isometric top-down games, you fucking need to play Path of Exile 2. Anyways, given the way my video did for that, not many people here like that game, so we're just going to keep moving. Intergalactic. Okay, we're just going to start at the top. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Ooh, what was your thoughts? What's up, Mark? What was your thoughts, man, on Intergalactic?
Just based off of like the inner anime nerd in that I am, I noticed a lot of anime references. The main character's red jacket is a really big reference to Akira from the 80s. The way that she starts the ship, the way that the presentation is for the game and for the trailer. You even have like Neil Druckmann confirming that Naughty Dog biggest inspirations for this game was Cowboy Bebop and Akira, which are like legends within the anime anime worlds and universe and everything and the community. They are such huge IPs. Everybody loves them. They're cult classics, and the fact that they're taking inspiration from this stuff is really, really cool, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it. Apparently it's supposed to be Naughty Dog's most in-depth gameplay game like they've ever made, like more than like Last of Us or Jack and Daxter or anything. So I'm really interested to see more of this game. I'm kind of glad that we did see this game because I respect Naughty Dog a lot, but I got really sick of not hearing anything about their game. I got really kind of like, come on, guys, what are you working on? I know some people were upset about Factions 2. I personally, my opinion, I couldn't care less, and if we had to choose between Naughty Dog doing online service game or sticking with what they are good at, I'd rather have them stick with what they're good at, but that's a topic for another day. But I think it looks really, really good. The fact that they did confirm, I think it was from Bloomberg, that they did confirm that what we saw in the trailer was gameplay, which is fantastic. This looks great. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do tech-wise with the PlayStation 5. Really push the limits of what this console can do, because that's what normally Naughty Dog are really kind of the rulers of the roost. They're really the best, one of the best at it. So I'm extremely excited to see what they can do with it. I know all the hubbub about the character and everything. I won't get into that because, like you said, it's all conjecture and
Bro, we got a haircut. We have a haircut.
And if you just pause the video where it like zooms in to where she has a photo of the other characters with her, she has hair. So I think there might be a story reason of why Maybe it's out of respect for another character, or maybe she's got some weird, deliberating thing going on with her. We have no idea.
Or, 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 or she could be a big bad woe man who don't need no man. We don't know. All we have is a haircut.
And people have made 50,000 videos and 3-hour long conversations about
That's all I'm saying.
I'm like, guys, we have a how long minute trailer? 5 minutes? It's a 5-minute trailer. I saw some insane shit that people were reaching, and I'm just like, okay, that's enough internet for one day.
That's enough internet for one day.
That's
how I felt, man.
I think people are jumping to conclusions, but I won't make that about this. I think it looks great. I think it looks interesting. I'm excited to see what Naughty Dog can do. And I think they said, is this a next year game or is it 2026?
I don't know. We're about to find out. I don't think they told us. But
yeah, I don't think there was a release year.
Hey, Hero, actually, that they kind of did that in RDR2, I believe, because you had to shave. So Hero said, wouldn't it be cool if they did, if her hair... Oh, I'm sorry, that was Brian East. He said, would it be really cool if her hair grew in real time? That would be really sick, actually.
And Hero Down Under, he mentioned that she has scars on her head, and now that I'm looking at the trailer, I do see them. Like, ooh, I wonder what happened.
She does have scars on the back of her head. But, like, I'm excited, and here's why I'm excited. I love the kind of Beverly Hills Cop swagger, don't care, kind of bend the rules, but I do the job anyways, get it done, kind of quippy, I love that over-the-top action hero vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I just do. That's why Star-Lord's was written fantastic in the Guardians movies and in the Marvel movies. Written superbly. And because it was that type of character. He's like so oblivious to the fact that there is a real danger here. And like that's what I get from this character. I get that Peter Quill feel. I get that Axel Foley, I'm kind of above the rules. I'm going to do what I need to do to get it done.
Yeah.
And so like that is pretty cool. And the product placement, who gives a shit?
Oh my god.
I've been
Death Stranding did it, guys. Other games have done it.
I heard somebody say, I think it's pretty fucking cool that there's a Sony something in there, because that means Sony says, hey, we're going to be around when spaceships can carry individual people and fly us into warp speed. Sony's going to be on the cutting edge of that. It's actually kind of cool. The trailer felt Blade Runner. Yes!
Yes.
Very, yeah.
I love Blade Runner.
Like, it was a good trailer. Now, earlier in the show, if you watched my live stream, I got super freaking hyped. Like, beyond hyped. Because Naughty Dog's logo came up, and I lost my shit. And the chat was so fast to be like, no, Thrifty. No. Whoa, calm down. It's not what you think. And it was the gosh dang Last of Us Part 2 remaster, remake, waste of my freaking time. I'm so mad about that still. Like, I hope it's only $10.
Nobody will buy on PC.
No, I hope it's only $10. I hope the upgrade's $10, and that's how they use it to like get the PC crowd over. Like, hey, if you, oh, that's pretty sick. Did you see that at the end?
Yes, I did.
Did you see that? I completely missed that when I watched it.
Yeah.
That's so
cool,
freaking sick.
Isn't it cool?
Oh, that's so fucking awesome. I'm sorry. Guys, I'm a sucker. The whole thing they did where my PlayStation says thank you for being a part of the 30th, like, y'all have no earthly idea how much that makes me happy and makes me smile, because I've been playing that bastard since the end of year one of its release. Like, I love this. This is... Oh, okay. Anyways. Next game. Elden Ring. Night Rain. It's a co-op. What do we think, man? If the
So
difficulty's dialed down, I'm there day one because I love that world and I love their character design.
now here's the funny thing about how the multiplayer in the actual Elden Ring game works. If you have more people, the boss has more health.
Sure. That's how it
So
works in a lot of multiplayer or single-player
yeah,
multiplayer
a
titles.
lot of
Shit.
that.
Oh shit.
So
Oh shit. This is
I,
not. Nope. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
you good?
I'm good. It started playing
Okay.
the audio music from the Elden Ring trailer.
Oh yeah,
Good lord.
don't want from software on this.
Hey guys, I promise you, people were messing with me about the Game Awards. There were 8 copyright claims on that stupid video. So, like, this is why we can't have sound on the trailers. Go ahead, Cosmic. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, don't worry about it. It's your show. So I like Elden Ring. It's not the most beautiful looking game, but I don't play Souls games for graphics. I play Souls games because I like the gameplay and I like the challenge.
But there were parts of it that shined through, like the tree.
Oh yeah,
when it's like
yeah,
glistening
yeah.
and everything. That's gorgeous.
It's not a bad looking game. It's impressive for what the fact that it's a cross-gen game. But I do think that this new title does interest me because I was like, wait a minute. These are bosses from Dark Souls. Like these are like character weapons and other stuff from like other games, and they're referencing other games, and I thought, okay, this is pretty cool. And you know, I always thought, like, Souls games have always been single player, but having them do a multiplayer take, I think, is actually very interesting. I think it's a very interesting concept. And I don't know if it's just a boss rush game or if it's, a whole open world, like it's got its whole own story. I think it has a whole own story, but like this is a whole separate game within the Elden Ring world. So I don't know what they're gonna do. But I'm definitely interested because I have hundreds of hours into Elden Ring. Loved the game. Platinum the game. I love Elden Ring. It's a great game. And to have something like this, to like have fun, goof around with friends in it, fight big ass enemies and all that other kind of stuff. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I agree. And the combat in it, like the movement speed of the enemies and just the way everything, like just the movement alone.
It looks faster.
It looks faster, right? Like that's one of the things that has me excited because I'll be honest, that's my biggest hate against Souls games is every movement feels so heavy.
You take a bajillion years to do everything.
That's one of the things. So like I'm not doing like an optimized build or anything on Path of Exile 2. I'm playing as the mercenary, which is the gunner. Well, the crossbower, but he's a gunner. If you played Path of Exile 2, you know why I say that. He can turn his crossbow into a machine gun. It's freaking sick. Anyways,
no, I'm playing the game. I know what you're talking about.
So basically, his attack speed, though, at the start is so freaking slow. And the game knows this because, like, the first tree that falls down into 2 branches for the skill tree, and one side is increasing your attack speed, and the other side is increasing your damage. Well, I filled out both of them because he was attacking so gosh dang slow. Slow combat is the reason why I didn't stick with the first Dragon Age, and it's also the reason why I didn't stick with the first Elder Scrolls game that was on console. I think it was Oblivion. It just did not do well. Oh, Wara won a member for 7 months. Night Rain is not constrained by Elden Ring lore. It even has the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3 in it. It's designed to be a roguelike, randomized experience. That sounds fantastic. Thanks, Wara. I should have just asked the Dark Souls guy. Like, he saw the trailer and automatically researched all of it.
Yeah, you want to know anything about Dark Souls, just ask Wara.
Just ask Wara. He's got you. All the games. Any of the games.
He's got...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to let you finish what your statement was.
Oh, that's it? It was just that?
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm excited to see it. I'm a Souls Souls-like person. I love Souls games. You know, what got me into it was Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne, and I haven't stopped since then. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. I'm excited to see what the story and everything's gonna be. You know, and seeing like the Nameless King from Dark Souls 3 was just great. I'm excited to see what more classic enemies we might be able to fight, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah, me too. I really am. It looks really good. And the next game, whew, guys, if y'all saw the reaction show I did, this was the first thing that was revealed, or at least the first thing I remember. And it was after Jeff Keighley had been talking about the next 10 years of gaming. So this trailer, I was like, I don't want to see a damn thing. I don't care. This is stupid. Why are we watching something that's going to come out in 10 freaking years? And then the trailer started playing, and I changed my tune so fast. It was like I literally had to eat my words in in that moment. It was over. Because as soon as it wasn't this part, I had fast forwarded, I think, through this, and then all of a sudden, but it will be like Thrifty at Mark Cerny's house. That's not nice. That's not nice, Wara. You almost read that whole thing. That's not nice.
That's Aussie humor for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, he thinks he's funny.
That's a discussion for you two to have.
This guy thinks he's funny. Nah, he is. Okay, so like at this point, I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? I don't know what this is at all. And I'm like, okay, it looks really cool. It's CGI, and then that pops up. Then the CD Projekt Red logo pops up, and I immediately start freaking out. Like, immediately. And I'm like, oh. And then I was like, isn't that the chick that played Ellie in Last of Us? Because it looks a whole lot like the chick that played Ellie in Last of Us. And
she does.
So I'm like, is she a Witcher? Did they, because there's multiple endings to The Witcher 3, and one of the endings would make sense if she was a new Witcher, because one of the characters in The Witcher 3 is now able to create Witchers because they're super powerful and they can do that. But that's kind of, like I said, I don't want to give away a lot of the story, so I'm not giving you any of the characters' names or anything. But then I saw that. And that was the point I lost my shit. I don't know about you. Cosmic, are you a Witcher fan at all?
I am a massive Witcher fan. And I watched the show before they decided to axe Henry Cavill, which was the dumbest thing that they could have possibly have ever done. But I've been a huge Witcher fan. I've read the books, I've played the games, and just having the Witcher 4 revealed and then thinking to myself, man, how long ago did The Witcher 3 come out? You look back, that game came out in 2015. Like, this is nearly a 10-year-old game. You know, and it's, you know, I love The Witcher. I love, you know, Geralt. I love the characters, you know, but if anybody had played The Witcher 3, which I think a lot of people did, they would know that Ciri was going. Is that how you actually pronounce her name?
It's
right?
Ciri.
It's Ciri. Okay. Oh, great! Now I just made my cell phone go off. No, shut up. So having Ciri be the main character. Yeah, I know. I said it, and then I was like, my phone decided to go off. I'm like,
I hate it when that
no.
stupid thing does that.
Yeah, I know. All you have to say her is her name now. Isn't that great? You don't even have to say hey anymore. That's off topic. But if people played The Witcher 3, they would know that Geralt was training her to be the next Witcher. You know, and I don't know, because originally I thought maybe this is a remake, because they were talking about CD Projekt Red remaking the first game. I don't know if
No, no,
anybody
no.
remembers
Here's
that. I don't.
here's how this is gonna work. It's CD Projekt Red. So here's how this is gonna work. They've announced the game. The game is gonna come out on the PS6. It's not coming out before then. It's
No,
just not.
no, no.
We're gonna have 5 more years, but in those 5 years, or 4 more years rather, five, we're gonna get The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, and The Witcher 3 all remastered, enhanced for the PS5 Pro. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's
You
gonna
know what?
happen.
Now that you say, yeah, now that you say that, I completely think that you are right about that.
Because they're gonna keep stringing us along. CD Projekt Red. We know
Hmm.
that they weren't doing full production on this during the production and or the aftermath of Cyberpunk
Cyberpunk.
2077.
Yeah.
We know that they held off going to this game so they could get Cyberpunk 2077 fixed. Cyberpunk got fixed, and then it blew up. Everybody fell in love with it. Everybody played the game that they had meant to have them play. And so they did the two DLCs, or sorry, the one DLC and then the one big expansion. I think it was just one expansion. Liberty
Yes.
City, I think. And so, yeah, now we're seeing what full production looks like on The Witcher 4. So, I'm saying we got 3 years at minimum, five to
Yeah.
six at probably realism or
Yeah.
realistic.
I see some people in the chat. I think the remake will come first. You
Yep.
know, kind of get people used to the world of The Witcher. You know, because God, how when did the first Witcher come out? That was a long time ago. Because there's a huge like time gap between all of them. So
Yeah,
I'm just excited. Go ahead.
but I was gonna say that's CD Projekt Red's thing. Like, and that's one of the things they always talk about, not being owned by one of the giant publishers, because you
Hmm.
have that freedom to kind of move and be a little bit more fluid, take your time, stuff like that. That was actually one of the things that the head of the studio for Path of Exile 2 said was so good about not being owned by one of the big guys. He was like, you're able to breathe. You are able to have creative freedom. You are
Hmm.
able to not push it out if you don't think it's ready. And I really enjoyed that. I really, really did. I thought it was one of the better, um, one of the better perspectives on that because we're always sitting here talking about, oh man, Sony should acquire them, or Xbox is going to acquire them, or Sony's going to get these guys, and I'm like, man, stop. Like,
Enough. Enough.
I want Shift Up
Please.
to be creative. I don't want them to be swallowed up by a big corporate entity. I don't want Arrowhead to be swallowed up by a big corporate entity. I want them to be creative. I don't want the same thing that happened to Arcane Austin happen to another studio. Like, that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So leave these
No.
people the fuck alone. Like, build your shit organically. Grow people from within your company, raise them up to be good developers and good directors, and then send them off to their own studio that you create and grow yourself that way. Like, split Naughty Dog. Shit, take 1/3 of Naughty Dog and turn them into a new studio. Like, come on. There's so many ways to do this outside of acquisitions, and honestly, that's something we're going to talk about later because some of these companies have no fucking business buying another single company ever. And the
Mm.
way that they talk about profit margins and the shit that we're going to listen to Amy Hood spill a little bit later, like, it's very sickening to hear them talk about their profit margins knowing that 16,000 people have been fired from your company in the last 18 months.
Yeah,
Like,
she said like, "Oh, we tried something new." I'm like, yeah, it's called firing people."
that's not new. That's been around forever. But anyways, Witcher 4, I'm super excited about. We're not going to see it maybe in my lifetime. Um, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus director Fumito teased the game. It looked decent. I didn't see enough
Oh
about it to
yeah,
make a.
it. When I saw the trailer, the robot colossi thing that the character walks into looks very much like a colossi from Shadow of the Colossus. Look, it looks very
It did.
inspiring.
It did. Which is what Sony normally does. JC 2013, I disagree. JC, what do you disagree? Which part? Sorry, y'all are on a delay, and we moved, and now we're moving, and I think you're commenting on something from before. I love Echo. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I don't know. I didn't have an appreciation for games like this back when games like this came out during the PS3, PS2 era. I just didn't. It wasn't my thing. The big cinematic set pieces. I to this day couldn't tell you what Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, or Last Guardian are about. Have no earthly idea.
The
Uh,
worlds are the worlds are connected.
well, see, I didn't even know that. Like it's one of
Yeah,
those things that back then I didn't care about that.
yeah.
That we won't see.
So
Okay, so JCU we're really far behind then. That we won't see Witcher 4 till PS6. Whew, I hope you're right, man. I really hope you're right. I really, really do. I can't tell you how much I hope you're right. Like, I want you to be right.
yeah,
Please be right.
I could see where he's coming from, but I also look at it from CD Projekt Red's eyes, and I ask the question: do we really want another Cyberpunk?
Well,
Do
and
we
so here's
do we
the other thing,
really want
though.
another problem with Cyberpunk?
They don't just, or I don't think game developers do this. They don't just delete all the old stuff they had from The Witcher 4 or The Witcher 3,
No, no.
right? They gotta have some of the assets just lying around on a computer file somewhere, right? Like, surely to goodness you can pull those off of your previous engine, put them into UE5, and see what happens.
hmm
Like, surely to goodness they have that capability. Once again, guys, I do not know how that stuff works. Thankfully, one of the guys we're talking about does. Uh, Borderlands 4, are you a Borderlands fan?
Okay, so I loved Borderlands 1 and 2.
I love that
3,
when. Go ahead.
3 I was 50-50 about. The grinding got really egregious. And it's okay. It's a fun game with multiple people, and that's kind of one of the new things with the Borderlands series. It's like, oh, it's fun with friends. It's get your friends together and, have a laugh, do stupid stuff, do all this kind of, crazy stuff and everything. But, you know, I I think I made it like halfway through Borderlands 3 before I just got bored with the game. Like its charm was starting to wear off for me, and it's just the grinding became so egregious, and I just didn't care for it. And from what I see, Borderlands 4 looks good, but the characters don't look interesting. It
Mm-hmm.
it looks like somebody at 2K basically put in an AI machine, make this character, and that AI machine did it. They don't look interesting. They don't look like original created characters. And that's what Borderlands was all about. These are all like specifically created, crazy, wacky looking, characters, and they look cool and all this other kind of stuff. It's supposed to be a wasteland, and it's like Mad Max and all this kind of stuff. But the thing is that this, I like Borderlands, but I just have no interest as of right now until we see more, until they show gameplay. I mean, it looks pretty, but like, you can say it looks pretty all you want, but until we get the game and see what it's like, that's when we make our judgment, because I just am not, I don't know, I'm 50-50 about it. I really am,
Yeah,
and
I'm not a fan of the franchise. Not a fan. I've tried to play a couple of them, and I've never realized that they were supposed to be multiplayer.
mhm.
And so I kept getting my ass kicked, and I just stopped playing them. Moved on to other things.
Yeah, it's
Where's the
like John.
gameplay? Oh, there
Yeah,
was gameplay? No, there wasn't gameplay. That's what we're saying.
no, no, there wasn't gameplay. That's why I'm saying, like, there was nothing to this trailer. Like, it looked like another generic like gameplay, like a game trailer. Like there was nothing there to like get you excited. Like it's Borderlands. Like it's the same thing that you've known for the past 15 years, you know. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm 50-50, you
Yeah.
know. And I think Borderlands as a franchise needs something good because that movie was so god awful. And I think 2K needs something good in
Yeah.
order to get the franchise to be somewhat relevant and popular among the gamer masses again, because that movie was so bad. That
Yeah.
like that had
I think
that
there
had
was some gameplay in that trailer. I think there was some, at least with some of the things that we saw enemies do and some of the vehicle movements. Uh,
it
it
could yeah
it looked
yeah
like it was like they showed off a couple of their moves. One of the guys was pounding the ground, making spikes come up out of it. Another person had like the two arms and her body was like walking with them. Uh,
yeah.
Take Two just needed money. 2 billion in the hole. Yeah. BL games can be played solo. LOL, you were likely just bad. Oh yeah, well probably. Probably still am just bad. Like guys, I'm not the one. I'm not that guy. Okay, so we have two games that we're going to talk about real quick, and we're gonna speed through this. Was there anything that really like stuck out hard that you're super focused on next year?
For me personally, I'm excited. Like, if you want my personal opinion, just to wrap the whole Game Awards show up, um, Sega and Capcom showed up very well for me. I'm very the Game of Thrones video game intrigued me because I'm a huge fan of the show, and that was about it. Everything else looked like very small, you know, games. I'm not really interested. The new Sonic racing game. I'm a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I'm excited for that. New Ninja Gaiden. It looks really really good. What else was there? The new game from
I
Rengaku
have no idea, but I
studio.
know what game you're talking about.
Yeah, that it's in like early 19th century Japan, and the guy was doing crazy kung fu, like kung fu moves, and you know it looked good. It looked really really good. Um, I'm trying to think
The
of
dispatch game looked really fun. The superhero workplace, where
yeah,
you have
like
to
some
like
of
dispatch superheroes.
I'm like was this a TV show or something?
It
Like
should be. I'd watch
it
the
looked
shit out of that.
it looked like a TV show, and I'm like I like the actor. He was the guy. He was Jesse from Breaking Bad. I don't know what the guy has done since then. Um, and I wasn't really interested in that. There were good games shown, like Screamer looks pretty cool,
Uh
which is
huh.
really interesting. I'm really into the arcade, like Tokyo Extreme Racer kind of games.
The first Berserker
Um,
Kazon
the first
looked pretty
Berserker
good.
looked good. That looked really fun. Um,
What the heck was
Trying
the
to
name of
think
that
of
other game you were talking about? I can't find it. You already mentioned the
what
Ninja Gaiden reveal.
the Sonic
Uh,
racing game.
Mafia Old Country. That looks really good.
Helldivers got a big reveal, which I was playing that update. It is insane.
Split Fiction. What's your
Um,
thought on Split Fiction?
Split Fiction, is that the guy that made It Takes Two?
It is. It is. It's the one where one of them is like spacey and the other one is like fairy tales, and you jump back and forth
Oh,
while you're
okay.
playing it, and like it is a full-on co-op game, and every purchase of it's going to come with a code for a friend. So like that's pretty cool because
That's pretty neat.
their last game sold pretty well, and that's even with
They
people
won
getting
Game of
that
the
second
Year.
code. Yeah, sales don't always matter in Game of the Year, and we know that, which is it's one of the things that like next year I'm just gonna go and start treating the Game Awards like I do the Oscars. I don't watch the Oscars. Whoa, hello.
Yeah.
I don't watch the Oscars anymore uh,
Um,
because you would have a movie like I don't know, Avengers Endgame make $3.3 billion and everybody and their mother went to see it 3 or 4 times
Hmm.
and it wouldn't win Game of the Year, but this one movie that was only released in 17 theaters globally would win for some, or movie of the year, I mean, would like Best Picture. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like
Yeah.
those type of deals make no sense to me. How can you have a game that like like the year that Hogwarts Legacy lost? How can you have a game that sells 20 million plus copies not even get nominated? Anyways, so I don't know if it should have won Game of the Year, and I think that's why they can't use sales as a metric. Uh, Bandai Namco had a hell of a time. Shadow
Hmm.
Labyrinth looks really good.
Hmm.
Pac-Man. It's Pac-Man.
Yeah, it basically is. It's like a more a grotesque version of Pac-Man. It is just a darker version of Pac-Man.
Oh wow, that's really cool, Nelson.
I have a couple other little mentions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
A new Virtual Fighter. Can't wait for that. Um, it was interesting to see that Microsoft yet announced another game, a quote unquote game that was exclusive, now coming to PlayStation at yet another Jeff Keighley show. That's two in a row for the year. Um,
He's making it a habit.
yeah, yeah. Onimusha coming back.
Yes.
I am so excited for Onimusha. I loved the games growing up. Still to this day, I love those games. I have the games still for my PlayStation 2. I love those games so much.
I'm excited
Um,
because I never played that.
oh, dude, you will absolutely love Onimusha. And I'm a big samurai, kind of guy. I love samurais. I played the shit out of Ghost of Tsushima, so I love Onimusha. I cannot wait. They had a release here too, which I think is a pretty good sign that things are moving along pretty well. It looks good. I don't know if this is the RE engine or if this is something new, but this looks good.
If it's the
This looks
RE engine, I'm very skeptical about what they've been doing with their life up to this point.
it
Because
looks
it
so
does
good
look really
though.
good. It.
It looks so good.
Do you remember Ninja Gaiden Sigma?
Yes, I remember Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Yeah.
That's kind of the feel I'm getting from, especially the scene in the trailer. Like, because the first level that I remember in Ninja Gaiden Sigma was like you were actually in a section like that where you were walking through all of these buildings that had just rice paper on the
Hmm.
walls. Uh,
Hmm.
but like, yeah, it was. It looks really good. That's another one. Uh, but I can't figure out the name of that other thing. Oh, hey, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is coming to PC. Can't wait to see how much it
Oh
sells
yeah,
and how many
yeah.
people
So
steal it
no,
within the first hour.
and nobody buys it.
Well, you know what? People have to learn. People have to learn. All right, guys. It has been an hour and 15 minutes. We have talked about the Game Awards. We talked about what we're excited about over the next year and over what was talked about at the Game Awards.
My
Uh,
wallet's gonna
do what?
My wallet's gonna cry. How many
Yeah,
games are coming out next year, man? I spent so much money on games this year. Next year's just gonna be even worse.
February's going to be real hard. February's going to be a hard
Oh,
month. February and March and April and probably the first half of the year like it was this year. Uh,
yeah.
but so we're gonna put a pin in the Game Awards now. We've talked about Hellblade.
Okay.
Um, oh, hey, Mark Cerny's face is on the screen. Whoops, that's not here yet. That's not for yet.
Nah.
Go away.
the
Go away.
the Cerninator. The
Go away.
Cerninator is not
All right,
ready.
guys. The Cerninator. All right, we are going to discuss some of the steak portion of tonight's video
Here
of
we
tonight's
go.
TED Talk.
Here we go.
All right.
I've been waiting for
The,
this.
the first thing we're going to talk about is very brief, very easy, very simple. Amy Hood is a liar, and she's really good at it. She is the king of the spin doctors. I tell you, I thought it was Phil Spencer. Oh no no no. Oh no no no. After listening
Mhm.
to her, I want to invest my money with Microsoft, and I'm not like holy shit balls. Like the way she spun everything, if I wouldn't know what I know, Um, I was like, man, this sounds amazing. Take my money. This is going to be great. But I have a couple timestamps that we're going to listen to. The first one is Amy Hood.
All 12 director nominees on the ballot.
And this one for Amy.
And now the meeting is adjourned.
Yep, the meeting
Let
is
me
adjourned.
now hand it
blah,
over
blah,
to our
blah.
Executive Vice President and Chief
This
Financial
does not
Officer,
give me any
Amy Hood, to discuss our
Easy,
business
good
results.
controls, so bear with me.
Thank you, Keith. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. As Sandy mentioned, we delivered another year of record results in FY24. Revenue grew 16% to over $245 billion.
Hang on. Go back. We're going to back up just a smidge.
Grew $245 billion.
Okay.
Non-GAAP operating income grew 22%, and non-GAAP earnings per share grew 20%. We continue to help our customers create growth
Can
opportunities.
you use the arrow keys to kind of like back up a couple seconds?
Productivity
No,
and
they don't
efficiency
even do.
gains
Nope.
through our portfolio of solutions.
Okay, so
To stay aligned with our growing demand
I'm
for our
watching the
cloud
stream, and you're
AI
really
services,
struggling with this,
we
man.
significantly
it's
increased
there.
our capital expenditures.
okay.
We are committed to investing in the long-term revenue growth opportunity and growing our lead in the AI platform wave.
Okay, so everything that she said there, I was trying to back it up. None of the glitches. That was just their investors call. That's not me. I only moved it one time. So, innovative solutions have led to record-breaking profits and revenue.
I would like to know what innovative solutions, but
They purchased companies.
Let me hear it. Yeah,
They purchased companies. They partnered with other AI companies who are doing AI better than they are. They took Activision Blizzard and are working on making it a shell of its former self. Actually, I'm sorry, PoE2 and Marvel Rivals is doing a damn good job of that themselves. Then you have the Bethesda ZeniMax acquisition that has been nothing but hot dog water for them. And let's see. What was the other thing? Oh, yeah. They laid off. Hang on. We have the power of the mother-loving internet. Well, that's Bing. It doesn't really have any power. Hang on. Let me go to the real search engine. Here we go. How many people has Microsoft laid... Oh, wait. First... 1,900 roles got laid off, 2,500 over 2,500 employees, 650 here, 950 there. Okay, so we're gonna. Will Microsoft have layoffs in 2024? Yes. Let's see, because I think the number was way more than that. No. There it was. Over 2,500 employees have been laid off in 2024.
Holy crap.
In 2024.
They laid off an entire company of people.
They laid off, and you get record revenue by cutting salary.
And
You're
firing
welcome.
people.
You're not innovative. You're not special. You're sleazy as hell. You are just like every other stinking corporate company that most of us don't like unless we run. So don't look at your investors and go, we did such a good job. I understand that their employee count is likely higher than 2023. But the fact that you acquire, and then you fire and fire and fire. Like Nelson said, it's 10K. They fired 10,000 people in 2023. That's insane.
That's so many people.
And she has and I understand, guys. I get it. This is an investor's call. She has to spin it. She has to make it sound amazing. And she did a phenomenal job of it. Nothing against her for doing her job. This is what they pay her for. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Josh. That's what I'm saying right now. Yep. Very, very true. That's exactly what I'm saying. She's saying the truth, but she's omitting certain details. And so, because of that, though, it literally made me look at this and go, man, They shouldn't be allowed to be over a certain size, in my opinion. I don't know enough about the size of companies that actually like I can't carry myself in that conversation because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Chick-fil-A is a great company and they have tons of employees all over the country, and people still like they have great customer service, they have great quality, they have all of this other stuff. So I don't know. Is it the company or is it the people running it? Or is it both? Is it the industry they're in? All of that. But like then they go on to talk about how they increased their Microsoft Windows 11 increased by 50%. Like I listened to the entire 1 hour and 19 minutes and 50 seconds of this thing to pull these clips. And there was some pretty cool stuff. They're talking about AI, they're talking about all this other stuff. That's neat. But this part with Amy really just got under my skin. Because you get these record profits in a year that you fire people for not having enough profit. So which one is it?
Pick a lane.
Right. That's my thing. Just pick a lane. Like, because if you had record everything, then surely to goodness you could have kept the employees, or some of them. I understand not everybody's keepable. I understand some people get fired because they suck at their job. Like, I'm not saying that. But 2,500? 2,500. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't tell me all 2,500 people were bad at their job.
By the way, if y'all want to find this, y'all can. It's online. Y'all can go look at this up. I'm going to get us prepped. Do you have anything else to say before we dive into Satya?
I mean, like you said, no disrespect towards, Amy, Hood. She's doing her job, but I find it extremely hilarious that they say that they saw record high profits when Activision, ever since they've owned Activision Blizzard, that company has lost them like 1.9 billion dollars in 3 quarters. Activision is losing them money. And it's the only thing keeping the Xbox brand, not even the Xbox brand, it's the thing keeping the Microsoft side of gaming afloat. And next year is really going to be the test to show that, this investment was worth it. But even right now, it's showing that it's not worth it. Because whether or not it'll go through, it's incredible to see the hypocrisy about, Sony Katakawa when people were championing on this Activision Blizzard deal. And it's absolutely crazy that she can sit there and say, yeah, we did all this amazing things. Meanwhile, you fired people, closed down studios, and are most likely going to do the same thing next year. And you're bringing your PlayStation games to PlayStation. And when I told you earlier I was rewatching Jez's show, he brought up a great point, and I don't want to take his point away. That's why I'm going to credit him. I'm going to credit Jez for this. This seems like a last-ditch effort by Microsoft to make some sort of money, and I agree with Jez on the fact that I don't think these games are going to sell well on PlayStation. Now, some of people here may disagree with me. You may disagree with me. That's fine. But I think that if this doesn't work, they have to sell the entire gaming branch off, or they license it off, or they do something, because I don't think just sticking your games on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch 2 is just going to solve your problems. And Jez also brought up a good point of, like, the games have to be good. You can't stick broken-ass Halo out there next to Ghost of GoTY. You can't stick boring-ass Gears of War E-Day next to, hey,
now, wait a minute. If that game comes to PlayStation, I am there day one. Because it looks really cool. Well, probably not day one. I'll be there on sale, but I still want to play it.
Yeah, Gears I think might be good. Coalition is a decent studio that they have, but it's just when he said that, it really kind of just stuck with me. Like, these games have to be good, and they have to sell. And I don't know if they're going to sell what Microsoft needs them to sell in order to keep the gaming business around. I just don't know if they're going to do that. You know, maybe a couple games like Forza and Halo might sell. Gears, I think, will sell, but will they sell enough for Microsoft? You know, you had Hi-Fi Rush, which was a breakout hit. Studio was, the industry darling. Hi-Fi Rush was great. It won awards. And then a year later, they shut the studio down, and Shinji Mikami goes to start his own studio.
Yeah.
And Amy Hood just standing there, literally lying with a smile on her face.
Well, she's not lying.
I get it. Well, she's not lying. She's telling the truth.
She is. She's telling the absolute truth. But the fact is, it's a fucked up truth.
Yeah, it is.
It just is.
Like, I'm not going to blame her for her doing her job, but, like, you guys fired a crap ton of people.
Yeah.
And that's how you made your money.
And, like, to not even address it. Like, literally nobody in the 1 hour and 18 minutes talked about the bounce back even that they've... Because they could have said, hey, we've had these record revenues. I know at the end of last quarter or end of last fiscal year and at the beginning of this one, we had to let go so many people. We have now hired back or done this or whatever, or we plan to or that. Like, nothing.
They didn't do any of that.
And I'm sitting here going, you could have at least said that. Like, listen, we've been in this position. Speaking of, guys, keep an eye on Exodus. Yes! Brian East, you are my dude. Yes, Exodus is going to be freaking amazing. They just dropped a trailer. I am getting the tabletop book because I've signed up to be one of their founders. Literally, it's nothing. You just go to their website, put your email in, and they send you updates on the game in your email, and you're now a quote-unquote founder. It's nothing special. But I am so excited for this game. Mass Effect 2, Mass Effect 3, the Dragon Age Origins, all those guys are making this game, and they're making it being published by Wizards of the Coast. It's like... And it has Matthew McConaughey, who's from Texas, who, like, I'm from Texas, so it just has a lot of cool shit in it that I'm just like, this. Plus, it's like a space game with, like, time travel and wormholes and shit. Like, I am so excited about this game. I cannot express... Oh, and this is how I know it has a chance. It's going to be third person. It's not going to be first person. So I'm excited. Anyways, sorry. Brian, you just like pulled my string. I am so excited about that game. And no, they don't pay me anything to say that. If they want to, my email is linked to my YouTube account. It's find me. All right. So, we understand why she did it. It sucks that she did it. It sucks that it was not talked about in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Would you stop it? Wara, you're terrible, bro. Wara's in a good mood today. This is how you know he's in a good mood. Brian, I'm so serious, dude. That freaking, like, if you follow me on Twitter, that has been like a constant. About once every week, every other week when they drop something, I am sharing that out immediately. I'm on it. Like, I need every single person to make that game do well. Anyways, so speaking of games doing well, we're going to talk about some Xbox games and what their plans are to help them do well. From none other than Satya Nadella at the 1 minute, 11 second, 30 millisecond mark. It's actually really cool. Oh yeah. I am 0.3. Oh, I'm sorry. 1 hour, 11 minute, and 30 second mark, not millisecond. Lord help. It's really good. This guy talking right now is Brad Smith. He actually had a good question given to him. Y'all can go back and listen to it about why them as a company gave almost an identical amount to both presidential candidates and both and the general Republican and Democratic parties as a whole in fiscal year 2024. And they really broke it down good as to, like, if you want to see that these companies don't give a flying rat's ass about your political statements or stands and it's all grandstanding, 100%, listen to this guy talk about Microsoft and why they gave the way they did. Like, it's quite interesting. And it literally destroys the narrative that people use during, oh, these companies are such allies and they're great. No, they're not. They're not. They are there for the bottom line, and that is it. They are not your friend. They are not your allies. And that goes for Sony. That goes for Square Enix. That goes for Creative Business Unit 3. Please, for the love of God, get another game out to me soon. I need some more Final Fantasy. Anyways, anyway, go back and listen to his thing. It's right before this. No company is great. No, they are not, Josh. All right, let's go. Satya.
For the Democrats. So every cycle we focus on candidates who are doing important work and the work that matters to Microsoft, our customers, our shareholders, and our employees, often around technology policy. And the good news is they're in both parties.
Well said. Thank you. In addition to AI, shareholders are also interested in our gaming business and our acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Satya, how are you feeling about the early return on that investment and just progress on our overall gaming strategy over the last year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling very, very good about where we are in gaming. In fact, right now, this is like the peak season.
Exciting times right now.
Gaming. Obviously.
Okay, so real quick, right there when he says this is the peak season of gaming and like exhales, it almost sounded like he was saying, oh, shit, dude, this is the peak season of gaming. Fuck. Like, he was like... He was like, I don't know how many more interviews I have left in me. I've done like 4 of these in the past week. I am tired. Phil Spencer keeps talking. He keeps showing up in public, and I got to keep coming out and setting the record straight. I'm tired. Let's continue.
With Black Ops and the new Call of Duty, it's just been fantastic.
Okay, so with Black Ops and the new Call of Duty. I didn't know that there was another Call of Duty after Black Ops, but when he's talking about the games that sold really well for them, he mentions the same one twice. As different games. Continue.
To see the launch and the marketing around it, the buzz around it, and the love for gaming. If I think about it, right, we chose the secular growth category in entertainment, which we think is gaming, and said, let's double down on it. And it's been a passion for Microsoft ever since. In fact, I think Flight Simulator launched before Windows or Office even. And so it's like one of the longest franchises in this company. And so we said, let's take that joy of gaming everywhere. And
where are we taking it? Oh, shit. Damn. Cosmic, where are we taking the joy of gaming?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Oh, shit. Okay, let's...
It's going to be on your mom's refrigerator. It's going to be in your Tesla. It's going to be on your phone. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be in a toaster. It's going to be in a coffee maker. It's going to be everywhere.
It's going to be everywhere.
Everywhere.
This is the dream.
Everywhere.
Since Flight Simulator, this was the dream, to send it everywhere. I have a Chex Notes Valentine's Day Massacre that suggests otherwise. Brian East, that's funny. Still learning. Can't be spoken if you want to brag about Flight Sim's age. No shit. Dude, Phil told us gaming. Go ahead.
He mentions Call of Duty twice.
Yeah, he said we're having great success with our franchises. The new Black Ops 6 and the new Call of Duty. Like, dude.
When did they announce? I don't remember a new Call of Duty announcement. Do you, Thrifty?
Don't either.
Do you remember a new Call of Duty announcement?
I have no fucking idea.
I don't, unless I know I was on vacation, but like I don't remember seeing that. I don't think I remember hearing a new Call of Duty game.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't mention Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Like, what happened with that one? Where did it go?
I could see why, I could see why.
No, it's a success. It did great, didn't it?
On the game. Not to shit on the game. It scored well.
It did amazing, right?
Might want to check the Steam player count on that. Because that would prove to you that nobody gave a flying rat's ass about this game on Steam.
No. It did great. It did amazing. Guys, I'm telling you, it did fantastic.
Thrifty, did you drink some strange
No,
green liquid?
Listen, it had 12,138 people day one on PC. That's good, right? Right, that's good. Surely it charted somewhere. Here, let's see. Did it chart most played? Here we go. Wait, what the fuck is this? These are games from like 1,000 years ago. What the hell? Holy shit, Path of Exile 2. Hello, Marvel Rivals. Oh, Lord. Hang on. Let's come down. Come. Oh, shit. Hang on. Here we go. Wait, we're in the 12,000s. We are in the 12th. Well, where is it? Where did it go? Did they delete it? Did they already execute this poor bastard? Where is it?
It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Oh, current. I'm sorry. I got to look at all-time player, 24-hour peak, all-time peak. Well, dang, I'm never going to find this thing. Current players, it's not even in the top fucking 100, guys. It's really not.
Nope.
It's not. So there's a reason why he mentioned Call of Duty twice. Let's continue real quick. He says a couple other things. Yeah. What's up, Nassim? How are you, dude?
That's why even these ads with Xbox now, where we are redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan.
It's so dirty. They're redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan. Not even like what it means to be a platform, what it means to be a brand, what it means. No.
Oh my God.
They are trying. They are trying so hard to let the Xbot know, hey, listen, it's not you, it's us, and we don't want to be in this relationship anymore because you're a broke ass that doesn't ever buy anything, and I'm tired of it, and I have to go. It's not you, it's me. I have needs, and you cannot supply my needs. I need to go find other suitors.
This is a really bad breakup.
This is a really bad breakup. And he's sitting there thinking, guys, listen, we have tried. Tim Stewart came out last year. I came out right before him. Matt Booty told y'all. And for some damn reason, y'all keep listening to Phil when he comes out half drunk off of the cocktails they serve in the back of the green room, and y'all believe this dude when he talks, and I have to come back out and say some other stuff, and then I've tried to put Sarah Bond out there more, but y'all don't listen to her. Like, we've tried to tell y'all. We are trying to kill Xbox. Remember, the song from the beginning, the AI got it totally right. Like, they are trying to kill Xbox as a console. It's not hard. Shit, yeah, Nutella was speaking shit. That's right. They're being so slimy, but Nutella. Hey, I'll buy their good games. Yeah, Hero, buy their good games, dude. Absolutely. Yeah. Buy their good games. I'm not telling y'all not to buy their good games. Tell me what a good game was that they've made. That's the problem. They don't fucking have any. And the ones they do have are going to come to PlayStation anyways. Like, and now you have Satya literally telling you, not kidding, nothing. There is no more pivot. There is no more. Hey, if you're a member, use the pivot icon in the emoji. There is no more pivot. They have planted their foot and turned this bitch 90 degrees in the other direction. They are gone. And
180.
No. They didn't even make a 180. They're not going backwards. They literally just stopped, turned to the left, and said, we're walking in this direction. Y'all can come with us or not. We don't care. We're not going to go back to consoles. We're not going to go back to that. We are straight up Game Pass and PC. Suck it up, Buttercup. Everything is an Xbox that has Game Pass on it because that's all that matters to us. We've told you this. We've tried to tell you this. You won't listen. You keep believing dummies like Colt Eastwood who want to sit there and talk and say all this shit, or at least used to. You believe all these other people who are sitting out there talking and saying crap and saying this and that and PC this and PC that, and we're going to be there forever, and we get all the games because we don't have to pay for them, and we only have to pay $12 a month for Game Pass, so it's great and it's awesome, and if they do make us buy our games, well, we'll just pirate them anyways. Like, that's the crowd that you are catering to as Microsoft. And it is irritating, to say the least. But because you still have people coming out and going, you know what, guys, it's not going to be that bad. Everything is fine. Everything's okay. It's
like Ryan McCaffrey.
There's still good. That's the guy who I couldn't think of. Thank you. I was like, I know there's another one, and I can't think of his name. Destin, not Colt. When I said Colt, I meant Destin.
Yeah.
That's who I meant. Like, you have these people who are like trying to spin this so hard, and you know how I know that this is like legit? Phil Spencer hasn't come out and like done a correction interview yet. He hasn't come out and been like, he hasn't said a damn thing. He's been like, you know what? I'm pretty good at what I do, but I can't fix that.
There's no spinning that.
He's like, well, shit, Satya, I thought you were going to give me something to latch onto there, and, well, you didn't.
Nope.
You didn't. You didn't at all. Let's continue. Let's see what else he finishes with.
It's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices. So our strategy with Activision content now is in full force. We feel fantastic about the progress we've made. And more importantly, I think
they feel fantastic about the progress they have made. Let's see how stuff is working out for them. Diablo 4, it's a game. Let's check this. It has 5,000 players in it right now.
And how many does Path of Exile 2 have?
You know what? I wasn't even going to go there, but I actually was looking up Call of Duty. Okay, Path of Exile 2. It has 230,000. Holy shit. Yep. So how is it going again? Hang on, there's more.
How it started and how it's going now.
Overwatch 2. Let's see. 23,000. Hey, that's actually respectable. That game's been out a while. That is actually very respectable. Marvel Rivals. 367,000 players. How's it going? Can I ask how's it going? And let's look at the charts.
I don't know if you want to ask that question, Thrifty.
Let's see. Call of Duty is number 10, just above Grand Theft Auto 5 and just below Banana.
So,
damn.
It is above a game that came out 15 years ago.
Fuck it. Yeah.
And it is below a game where you literally click the screen.
Where you click a banana. Yeah. But it's going so well for us. It's going amazing. We've initiated our whole plan.
It went so well that Satya only talked about the PlayStation and Steam numbers for Call of Duty.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize that. You're right. Steam is weird.
I told my friends, we're like massive Call of Duty fans. I told my friends, if it weren't for PlayStation, the ecosystem, Black Ops 6 would have been an utter failure in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
It's not a bad game. I've played Black Ops 6. It's got a great campaign. Multiplayer could use some work, and having Nuketown back and the round-based zombies is great. But without PlayStation, the gamers on that platform, this game would have been forgotten about. It would have been here and gone.
75% of Black Ops full price sales were on PlayStation 4 and 5. 11% were on Xbox, 15% were on PC.
I thought it was 80%. I thought they got 80%.
It might be. This was from November 16th. Reddit is saying 82%.
It jumped? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Nobody on Xbox is playing this game, and yet they cheered and cried and whined for years to get Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox.
And
this is the reality.
Wow. Yeah, IGN reported 82% on the 22nd. Screen Rant reported on the 16th at 75%. So yeah, it jumped.
Oh my god. There's no one on Xbox playing this game.
Yeah, like Leech. Leech is hey, what's up, Leech? Leech is in the chat. He said regardless, it played mostly on PS. That's a fact, dude. I had asked my client too. I was like, hey, you know what? In the gaming industry, we have a question. Like in the gaming circles, not in the industry. I'm not in the industry. With the gaming circles, we have a question. Why do people continually play shitty franchises? And he just kind of cocked his head and smirked. And I was like, listen, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Like, y'all been getting the same slop for a decade now. And I mean, I said since Vanguard, and he goes, no, it happened before then. I said, what, Cold War? I was like, Cold War, did it come before Vanguard? He was like, yeah, it came before Vanguard. And he was like, it's been bad since Cold War. And I was like, oh, okay. So why? Because this dude said he bought every Call of Duty, him and his squad play every Call of Duty. And I was like, dude, why? What makes you latch onto this when you know it's shit? And he was like, honestly, man, there's no other game that has the feeling of a Call of Duty game. With all of its flaws, with all of the crap, with all the maps that are bullcrap, all the spawn zones that are terrible, the campaigns that have gotten so lackluster. He said Black Ops 6 was a pretty good campaign, but up to this one, he was like, it's really just because it's familiar. And they don't change it enough to make it any different, and we can just hop in and go. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but he goes, I know. He goes, we talk about it all the time. But there is no, and he said, he goes, there is no direct competitor to COD. I was like, shit. Like, that's from a dude that is, like, invested. He's in that world.
Yeah.
He games almost as much as I work in a week. Like, just let that shit sink in. Because he's playing 5 hours a day, every day, except for Sunday. He is playing 30 hours a week. Just in Call of Duty. So like
that's some commitment right there. That's you know.
And so like I don't understand it. I don't understand why people keep going back to it. But it was a bright spot for Microsoft. Let's not act like it wasn't a second job. No kidding. All right, let's see if there's anything else this dude says.
Long term, as a company, we can bring the best of AI innovation, cloud innovation, console innovation, PC innovation to build the best games that can be enjoyed by gamers everywhere.
Yeah.
Ooh! To bring the best games. Yes! Hit that like button. Hey, yeah, this is a good chance for a channel announcement in hour number 2. This is my second one of the night. Hit that like, subscribe if you haven't already. You can hit the join button, become a member. If you already are a member, you have a free milestone chat that you can use. You can type it in. I read every single one of them that comes through. Even if you're gifted, you should still have that option to put that on there. And then please share this out. We still have Cerny to get to. And yeah, I am super excited. And then we're going to get into our game of the year after we talk about Cerny. So we'll close with kind of what our game of the year is. And I think for Cosmic and for me, I was hoping to get Falky because I think for Cosmic and me, it's relatively the same thing. But so
I know our gamers are excited about that. Thank you.
Let me.
The company stock price has.
The company stock price. That guy got a.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I know our gamers are excited about that.
Oh, shut up. Let me back up a little bit.
In fact, I think Flight Simulator launched before Windows or Office even, and so.
Okay.
So it's
well,
like
basically, sorry, I had to collect my thoughts. Basically, what he had said was that games going everywhere. Not basically. That's what he did say. To be able to play our games everywhere. Everywhere? Everywhere. Every single place that you can play a game, we want you to be playing our game.
Yeah, they want them everywhere. You can play them on a TI-80 calculator.
Whew, his innovation speech is misleading and gross.
Oh, yeah. I listened to that part of that video, and I'm just like, you idiots have done nothing in terms of innovation of consoles or controllers. Their controllers to this day still require batteries.
Dude, I thought they were wireless now.
No, they require AA batteries.
Wait, no. They're rechargeable batteries, aren't they?
I don't know. No, I think they're still AA batteries.
No, surely not.
I think they are.
Dog, I ain't charged. I ain't replaced a battery in my controller ever. Like,
no, dude. The last time I changed batteries in a controller was for the Nintendo Wii.
Oh, it did have batteries, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Those controllers have AA batteries.
We never had a Wii, but my friends did, and I remember that was like the thing. Like, you had to make sure you had the battery, or when you were playing the tennis, Mario Tennis or whatever it was, it wouldn't work right. The Wii Tennis.
Yeah, I remember that game.
That game was fun.
But yeah, the Xbox controllers still require AA batteries in 2024 when Nintendo doesn't even require batteries.
Wait, I have an Xbox controller for my tampon? Hero? I mean my Fire Stick. Okay. I was like, wait, what? Fire Stick, a tampon? That's funny. That is low key some high. That's funny. That's really good. That's like a sleeper.
That's a sleeper joke right
that's
there.
One of those ones like that's one of those ones. That's a husband and wife inside joke. Like, that's what that is. Like, to anybody else, you're like, oh, Fire Stick, and you're like, I know what that means. Sorry, that tickled me. Oh, that was funny. Xbox everywhere, even on a tampon, apparently. Oh, it's about to be another bloody Valentine, I'll tell you that much. Okay, that was gross. Oh. We're going to move on. We are going to move on. See what y'all are doing to me? This is why I don't interact with the chat. This is... Y'all are terrible.
Wara. It all started with Wara.
It all did start with Wara. He's terrible. Is it that time of the month for Hero? Maybe. Steven, you're still here. What up, dog? Okay, so I have 4 things that we're going to listen to from Mark Cerny. If y'all want to leave, you can. This is for me and people who like being nerds, because that's what this is. This is just one nerd talking to a bunch of other nerds who might. And one of the things I'll say is he explains it. I encourage everybody to go watch this because he explains it in such a good way. Such a good way.
Mark Cerny is very good with his words. He's very good at explaining things.
Love Mark Need Out. Oh, Nerd Out. Yeah. It's so good. Like, I picked up some shit that I didn't know and, like, that actually made sense to me. I always joke that I'm dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to technical jargon. And after this video, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I can have a little bit of knowledge on this. I feel like I can at least not be a complete dumbass anymore. This is great. So it's like the way I feel after I talk to Falky about finances. Like, I'm learning stuff. It's great. In Cerny we trust. Absolutely. Dude, I think the next emoji is going to have to be Mark Cerny's head with a wizard hat on top of it. I think that's what we're going to do. I think if we can get to the next emoji, that is, I think that's what we're going to do.
When you said in Cerny we trust, I just think of, like, Cerny's head on Jesus' body. Just like
No, what you do is you put, like, his face on, like, a coin, and then show it with underneath of it, say, in Cerny we trust. And that's the emoji. That's the emoji.
Oh my god. Make it a platinum coin.
Make it a platinum coin, that's right.
Cerny as the Pope.
you can only... No, I would never do this, but you can only do it if you do the sticker, and I'll make it as a sticker where it costs $2 every time you want to put a Cerny coin down. Sorry, I could never do that. The other side is the PS logo. That's fantastic. I think I have two emoji slots left, because I think what Steven gifted tonight and what he gifted last week got us back up to where I have 2 more emojis left. I think I might do one side of the coin and then the other. That's perfect. That's great. I like that. Okay, so I have 4 different spots, and there are 4 different key things that I really wanted to pick up on. And honestly, he gave us a word in here that is absolutely the most epic word. Also, he kind of sneak disses a little bit. Like, I don't know if it's going to be in some of the clips that I've covered, but there are a couple sneak disses in here that I'm like, oh, I see what you did there. Or more importantly, I see what you let somebody else take the fall for there. So let's dive in. The first one's going to be at 7 minutes and 7 seconds, and because I'm on YouTube, I can do that.
In parts of the game to adopt, or better yet,
okay, so right here.
To the game program. One thing I'd like to clear up is the erroneous 33.5 teraflop number that's been circulating for PS5 Pro. That number isn't anywhere in our developer docs. It comes from a misunderstanding by someone commenting on leaked PS5 Pro technical information.
Okay, so real quick, that right there is the first diss. That's the first one where I was like, oh, I know some of the Twitter accounts that he's calling out. I know some of the people that he's calling out. I follow a couple of the people that he's calling out. It comes from a misunderstanding. You buffoons, sit down, let the adults sit at the table, let us play with all the cool toys, and y'all trust us, we'll let you know when we want you to know. Like, that's essentially what that sounded like. It's like...
Josh said it was shade at Moore's Law is dead.
It was I wasn't saying anything. But
dude,
there were several. Several.
Several disses. I watched this video multiple times just to like make sure I like understood most if not all of it. It's just like the disses, like I'm like, damn, like Cerny's just kind of thrown these under the rug, and like you'd have to like be in it to understand.
Chad Stud.
Yeah, but every time like Cerny opens his mouth, people just don't believe what he says, and then when it actually happens, you know, people are like, oh, you know,
like
it's.
Sorry, Cerny, like, I have it paused right now, and the facial expression that he is giving off is like, would you sit down, you fucking idiot? I have explained this to you 35 times. You're dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. Sit down. Like, just that, like, are you done? Are you finished? Oh, he wrote down under member for 6 months. The console innovations and the digs from Cerny made me happy to be on the right console that wants to push the boundaries of possibilities. Abso-freaking-lutely, man. Thank you for 6 months, dude. I appreciate that. So let's.
Can we get Cerny on the dissing shows? Can we get like him on like Saturday Night Live to like diss a couple people? Because like some of these disses were pretty good.
What I want to see is Dana Harvey play Mark Cerny on SNL. That would be amazing. Whatever Cerny says. So Leech, there's a point in this coming up. He dissed the teraflop people. Yes, he did. Actually, he did, but he did it in a very smooth way. Cerny is the smartest man in most rooms. Abso-fucking-lutely he is. But Leech said whatever Cerny says, it is facts. And yes, it is. And he even shows his work. Like, we're going to get into that a little later, but he shows his fucking work. So let's keep going.
Part of the confusion comes from RDNA 3 architectures having double the flops of RDNA 2 architectures. Now, to quote Digital Foundry on this topic, it's a nice little bonus to have twice the flops, but it doesn't do anything like double real-world performance. So there's a certain amount of flopflation going
There's a certain amount of what?
Here. We did not get a certain amount of flopflation going.
No, even he pauses. He's reading off of a teleprompter. You can watch his eyes lean over to the look over to the teleprompter. And once he reads flopflation, he's like, "Wait, what the fuck? What is this? That was a joke, guys. That wasn't supposed to end up That wasn't supposed to end up here." And yes, fucking shit. It's flopflation. Wait, what is that?
Going on here.
It's flopflation.
Like, what
we didn't know.
Flopflation?
he has to swallow back a laugh. Like, you watch him, he pauses and like has to swallow back a laugh.
Is flopflation the opposite of inflation? Is that what this, like? Is that some sort of joke?
Flopflation is, I guess, what Xbox does. And what's real funny is he doesn't diss people who care about the teraflops. He lets Digital Foundry do it. He
lets Digital Foundry be the clowns.
Right. Because he sources them in what they said.
Bring in the amount of flop. It doesn't do anything like double. It's a nice little bonus to have twice the
right
flops,
here.
But
it's a nice little bonus to have twice the flop, but it doesn't really do anything special if you can't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. So, Cerny, who would you be talking about? I didn't say that. Digital Foundry did. But Cerny, who were they talking about? Oh, just another company that cared a whole lot about their teraflops about 4 years ago. It is the cleanest I have ever seen somebody just slide that right in. Like, and Xbox fans are going to go, that's not what he was talking about. Bullshit. Bullshit. You can't convince me that that's not what he was talking about, because for no less than 5 months he had to hear teraflop this, teraflop that, teraflop this, teraflop that. And oh my goodness, you don't think that as the genius geek / nerd that this wonderful, brilliant person is, you don't think that he remembers that shit? Listen, I promise you, as the guy who was kind of a nerd and a dork in school, we remember every asshole that used to screw with us. I promise, we do. We not all of us have a list. That's creepy. But we remember. We can tell you their names. So he's like, every single person is doubting my work. And I have now proven myself. And all that y'all had was a whole lot of flopflation. We had flopflation.
It doesn't do anything going on here.
Flopflation. Flopflation. Sorry, you can see I accidentally paused it right at the right time where you can see the smirk forming on his face.
He looks like he wants to laugh, but he needs to keep it professional.
He wants to laugh so hard right now. It's not okay. We gotta continue. Shit, it's already been 2 hours. Hit that like button, guys. Where else can you hear about flopflation? Let's go.
We did not bring in the doubled floating point math from RDNA 3 because achieving that bonus in performance would require a recompile for PS5 Pro. And as I said, having 2 versions of each compiled piece of code would create more work than we're comfortable asking the developers to do. Here, then, are the correct...
Okay, so he's basically talking about the 65% increase right now. He goes into how, logically speaking, if you get 65% more, that's where the numbers come from on that. One of the things that I did pull out from this, though, how much he talked about easing the developer's workload and not making this a harder experience. And we're going to skip a lot of that because, honestly, a lot of that he does get into a ton of the technical stuff. But I just want to point out that there was no part of this process that didn't have developer real-world input, which is absolutely amazing. He talks about how he got the betas for the PS5 Pro out to these people super early, just a select handful. And he said it was almost immediate that we started getting feedback. Hey, this isn't right. Hey, this needs to be different. Hey, I'm having struggles here. He talks about a game that where the sky had true blue in it. And the PS5 Pro, the PSSR, had never seen true blue. So it didn't know what the hell to do with it. And so it was causing issues, and he was like, we had to get in there and figure out how to fix that and kind of what we could do and all of that. So it was super helpful to be able to figure out that problem before it actually got to the consumer. Like, everything they did was to make it a seamless transition. And I really, really appreciate that, because it really somebody posted in this chat or in the comments of this video that they were like, this should have been the reveal of the PS5 Pro. But I don't know if I agree with that or not. Like, hindsight being 2020, yes, it would have been really cool to have all this information, but also it was really fun speculating with everybody and like, oh, what is it gonna do? Are our eyeballs gonna melt? Like, I can't wait to play it. Oh, it's gonna be great. And then, lo and behold, everything was awesome. Well, almost everything, barring like 5 games. Everything has been awesome. So it's just really cool the amount of care and time that they took to put into this. And before we go on to the next section, do you have anything to say about Flopflation, Cosmic? I can't even say this shit.
It sounds like it sounds like a small like subreddit group or something. It sounds like an inside joke or something. But I don't really have much to say anything about Flopflation. I am going to be using that word a lot more though.
I'm going to be using that so hard.
It is going to be very fun to use, but to be serious just for a second, Mark Cerny is a technical genius. He's a wizard with what he does. The fact that he made it a point to have the developers have as much of an easy time to develop for the PlayStation ecosystem as possible is a very good thing when we constantly hear about why Xbox doesn't get games. Or it's because of the clarity, not clarity. Is it clarity? I think it's the clarity clause between the Xbox Series X and S.
Parity. Parity clause.
It's parity clause.
Yeah, clarity. I was like, what are we trying to see? Well, like, I'm confused.
Not clarity. Sorry, I got the words mixed up.
You're fine, bud.
So you have this parity clause. The Xbox Series X and S version need to be the same, or the Series S sucks and Microsoft just doesn't want to get rid of it. They won't allow us to not make a Series S version. And Nintendo is somebody that I worry about too, in terms of how their power is and how they, how powerful they make their console. I don't want them to be the next Xbox 2.0 where they're holding back the industry, which I don't think they will.
No.
But, but the main point is that this is a direct, not like direct attack in a sense of Mark Cerny's calling them out, but this is like, you can tell that Mark Cerny is like taking a dig at Xbox.
Oh,
that this is a small, smooth, under the rug kind of way to kind of kick at the feet of Xbox, and say, look, I made my console super easy to develop for. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the hell y'all are doing, over in Redmond. You got 2 consoles. Actually, you know what? You've got 4 variations of 2 consoles, and then you've got a handheld that apparently is years away, which no one will give a shit about when it comes out. And you've got your developers stretched so thin that literally a bubble could pass through them.
Yeah.
So I think PlayStation having Mark Cerny is incredible, and I hope the man can stay with PlayStation as long as possible because he knows what he's doing, and he knows what needs to be done. Make the developers' lives easier. That's why we got all these games exclusive to the PlayStation. That's why Black Myth Wukong to this day still has no Xbox release. This is why to this day Final Fantasy 16 and 7 and all these other games have not come to Xbox because A, it is not a popular brand of console that sells well in terms of game sales.
Sure.
And B, they made the hardware so goddamn complicated to work with that most devs don't even bother.
Well, and it's not even that. Like, if you saw how how Final Fantasy VII Rebirth ran on the PS5 base, can you imagine the absolute fuckery that it would be on the Series S?
Dude, I imagine Final Fantasy 16 trying to run on the Series S. That thing's gonna blow up the second it tries to load the boss fight between Ifrit and Phoenix.
That white little Series S will turn red real fast. Just start melting.
You can roast marshmallows over that damn thing.
Hey, listen,
Like,
I was able to mark my PS5 safe from that Ifrit fight. I just want to say that. Like, mine, liquid metal didn't go anywhere. My PS5 didn't melt from it. It didn't shut down. Nothing.
no.
My PS5 handled that shit like a champ.
Yeah.
So there are some more things, and we're a little over right now. So let's move on to the next one. This is where he is describing the way upscaling works. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this is, and Corey hit it right on the head, Cerny dispelled a lot of fanboy nonsense, rumors, and misinformation today. He put a lot of the internet on blast today. I absolutely agree. And that's one of the things why I wanted to point this out. It's not that big of a clip, but this and then the next one kind of go hand in hand. But this one explains the way the upscaling actually works. So let's listen to the genius talk.
It's important to note that high-quality upscaling changes the way we should be thinking about game rendering resolution. Let's imagine 3 games that are rendering at various resolutions. A reductionist view on this is that the 1440p game engine is the best, and that the 1080p game is clearly flawed. But after a super resolution pass, these are all ending up at 4K resolution for display. The conversation really needs to be about what's important: image quality. When game creators...
That's why when somebody says the game is sitting at 870p, like I'm about to show y'all here in a second, in actually about 30 seconds, that is why I can look at you and go, yeah, that doesn't really fucking matter. Oh, the video went away? I am so sorry, guys. Was the audio still there? Josh, let me know if the audio was still there. If not, I can back up real quick. We only missed like a few seconds. That's so weird. I didn't realize that.
Improve their lighting or materials, or add ray tracing, then rendering each pixel can get more expensive, and the resolution will drop. They move up on this chart. And that's perfectly fine as long as the upscaling technology is ensuring that the result is a crisp, beautiful image and not a blurry one. A different way to say that is that high-quality super resolution lets game creators focus on fewer, richer pixels and significantly improve the resulting image quality. It's a world where internal rendering resolution is not the primary concern.
So that was actually a big deal early on. I remember when Alan Wake 2 came out and said, yeah, in the ray trace mode, it's going to have 870p internal resolution, blah, blah, blah. But display, it was 4K.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And folks were like, oh, it's down to 870. That's so terrible, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, that doesn't matter. Cerny, the guy who designed it, is literally looking at you and going, yeah, that doesn't fucking matter. Because PSSR, the super sampling, or the super resolution will kick that up. And it's going to do it in a way that checkerboard rendering never could. And if y'all remember checkerboard rendering, I've mentioned it in a video before, but it literally was, hey, Hinzu, member for 1 month. Imagine being a customer to this shitty-ass company. We will redefine you. Yes, right. Hinzu, I think you're watching earlier in the stream, but abso-freaking-lutely, dude. We will redefine what it means to be an Xbox fan. No, you fucking won't. We've been trying. Trust me, there's a whole army of us assholes out here on the internet trying to help them redefine what it should mean to be an Xbox fan. What it looks like is holding a DualSense in your hand and getting a PS5. That's what it looks like, because this is Xbox. Anyways, that was earlier. We're on to this now. But God. Once again, this is why I don't interact with chat. But Cerny, with the way he's working and the way he's talking about this, he literally is dispelling all these things. Like, listen, y'all can have your T-flops, y'all can have your native 4K, don't care. Can you do ray tracing and make a game look 4K? Because that's what I care about. And he's thinking about it from the customer perspective too. Hey, Cosmic, do you care if a game looks 4K but is actually 720?
No.
No. Now, do you care if a game is 4K but it runs like it's 720?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Those are two very, very different statements. Those are two very different things. One of them I'm okay with because I care about what I can see. I don't care about necessarily what I can't see. Or, go ahead.
There's only so much the human eye can see.
I'm not even taking that argument. Like, if 4K looks gorgeous, then I don't give a damn if you got there by taking a 270 image. Slow it down. Cerny is like, slow it down. I just dissed you. It's so true. But I don't care if somebody takes a 540p image and puts it in front of my face and goes, hey, we just made that 4K. And I go, holy shit, yes, you did. Oh, also, before you weren't able to make that 4K, so you had to just use a lot of raw power to do it. Now we figured out a way to where we don't have to use that power, giving an extra 5 to 7 milliseconds of time in between there to add other shit, and we've used that opportunity to add ray tracing. We've used that opportunity to add more ambient lighting, to add global illumination, to add this extra burst effect, to add this extra color. You get to use that, developers, to do whatever the hell you want. Congratulations. And we as the consumer see 4K 60 with ray tracing, and we're like, hey, fuck it, this is great. I'm happy. I don't care how you did it. I want to know. I don't care how the wizardry works. It's interesting. It's cool. This is an awesome video. I learned a lot. I'm probably going to watch it again tomorrow because it is a really informative video about how this stuff works. If you were in the Discord a couple months ago, or maybe it was just last month, somebody posted videos of like explaining pixels and explaining, I think it was pixels, and it was like explaining pixels, explaining like graphic rendering and like all that other stuff. It was kind of cool. They were pretty cool videos. And like stuff like that is interesting, but at the end of the day, when I put my controller in my hand, I don't give a shit. I want to push the button and I want my plastic box to make picture. That's it. That's all I want. And Cerny's like, you know what? I got you. I'm going to make sure that that picture is the best possible picture you can absolutely have. Don't worry about how it started. Don't worry about where it started. Don't worry about what it looked like at the beginning. Don't worry about any of that. I'm going to make sure that by the time it's done, it looks amazing. And that's what they're doing. And let's listen to what he says about it, too.
That's the world we want to be in. When we're using these strategies for graphics, the work isn't exclusively ML. The neural networks tend to be preceded by conventional processing and followed by some as well.
Yeah,
it's
listen,
the piece in the middle
this is about the
that's
point
the
where
neural
he
network.
lost my ass.
More specifically, it's a type of neural network called a CNN,
honest.
which stands for convolutional neural network.
When he said that, I was like, Mark, this is very convoluted. Can you please explain it? Like, it just you said convolutional, and I'm like, yes, sir, I agree.
Here's a simplified CNN for super resolution. It's not quite the one we use in PSSR, but close enough for the purposes of this conversation. You can see a lot of images. In the language of machine learning, they're called tensors, but basically they're images with many bytes of data per pixel. The colored arrows are the layers of the network. They are processing those images. There's quite a few of them as well. Let's zoom in on the first layer.
Okay, so
Its input is a game image, 4K RGB. Perhaps it's a quickie upscale of what the game rendered.
Hello.
The first layer does lots of matrix math and then outputs another 4K image, now with substantially more information per pixel. Maybe 16 bytes describing edges and the like that the neural network found in that input game image. The second layer then picks up the output of the first layer and does a lot more matrix math. The resulting image might reflect some deeper understanding about what the game rendered. There's also layers that reduce the size of the images. Downsizing to 540p or even 270p lets the neural net.
Downsizing to 540p or 270p in some cases. 270. I don't know about you, but I think that has to be like PlayStation 1 or like Nintendo or some shit. Like
that's Super NES.
Like, what the fuck is 270? You are taking a 270p image and boosting that shit. You are boosting that shit to 4K. Damn. Just damn. Like, guys, that's absolutely crazy. Somebody talked about the matrix math. Hang on. Here we go. Because that is 270p. Hey, let me put this Nintendo cartridge in and make it look like a PS5 game. Let me help you. I can do it. And this is, guys, this is what I was talking about. Cosmic, I don't know if you were here in the chat for the show, but when I was talking about this, but I said, kind of jokingly, kind of not, PlayStation 5 Pro is going to make Xbox games better.
Yes, I was there. I remember you saying that.
It just fucking is. Like, you're going to be able to take their shitty quality and their shitty images and put it through Pisser, and it's going to come out, and it's going to look amazing. It's at least going to look better than what it does, unless, as we saw with EA, the devs don't know what the fuck they're doing. But, like, at the end of the day, if they're competent, which, having above a 90, starting out for your game, I have to think you're a little competent in making a game. If they're competent, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is going to come out, and it's going to look absolutely flawless. Oh, Josh Ayers. Yeah. PS1 was 256p. Exactly. So
holy crap.
You're taking a PS1 game and boosting these new terms, matrix math and flopflation. Abso-fucking-lutely. It's the greatest.
New age language.
It's what all the kiddies are saying. Okay, so let's listen to what this dude says right here. Because this was his final, this was the final mic drop that I heard.
Approach to register RAM access and also implement the math needed for the CNNs, which is primarily done in 8-bit precision mode, where each WGP processes the CNN for a operational screen tile.
Okay.
By the way, the 300 tops...
Okay, so 300 tops. Who in the chat can tell me what in the hell 300 tops means? Can anybody? Without Googling, because I had to Google it. Can anybody tell me what 300 tops means? Cosmic, can you? Cosmic?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I can't, man.
300 tops of 8-bit computation. That's exactly what he's talking about. Let's see. So, here's what it can do. It can do 300. Nope, not a new term. This is actually a term in processing. I can, but not with the character limits of YouTube. That's totally fair. So, 300 tops of 8-bit computation refers to the processing power measurement specifically indicating the ability to perform 300 trillion operations per second using 8-bit data. Hey, there you go, Josh Ayers. I should have just waited a little bit. I knew that Alexa would get it. Tera operations per second. That is right. Tops. So, now, tops. He's already said that was a big thing that was been pushing out since the beginning. Okay, here we go.
For a single screen tile. By the way, the 300 tops number has been a real mystery since it leaked early this year. No one on the outside has been able to derive that number from the workgroup processor count and the GPU frequency. The secret is that there are instructions that perform 3x3 convolutions. Those use 9 multiplies and 9 adds for a total of 18 operations.
Wait. Did y'all hear that?
Instructions that perform processor count and the GPU frequency. The secret is that there are instructions from the work tree since it leaked early this year. By the way, the 300 tops number has been a real mystery since it leaked early this year. Okay. No one on the outside has been able to derive that number from the workgroup processor count and the GPU frequency. The secret is that there are instructions that perform 3x3 convolution.
So people couldn't figure out how the hell they were going to get to 300 tops. Nobody knew. It was like, how the hell are they supposed to do that? How can it compute that much? How can it do that? I remember these conversations. Oh yeah, sneak diss at Digital Foundry. Abso-freaking-lutely. They didn't know what the fuck they were talking about at all. They literally sat there and said 300 computes of power and blah 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 blah. You have no idea. I just don't see how he's going to get there. I don't see either. No, I mean, if they're not really increasing the GPU, but with 33 teraflops and blah, 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 I don't really know. No. Heck no. You didn't know because he put in this, instead of double time, he got a triple time in here. And I don't know what the fuck a 3x3 matrix is and all that shit, but I understand what math is, and I understand the math that he's talking about. And so, like, very much, that was his third diss of the video. And it was, all of them were pointed at Twitter. All of them were pointed at DF. All of them were pointed, like Corey said earlier, at the entirety of the internet. Like, he's basically, oh, hang on, I'll just let him do it. Here.
Those use 9 multiplies and 9 adds for a total of 18 operations. And at that pretty common GPU frequency of 2.17 gigahertz, the performance really does work out to 300 tops. Here's the math.
Right there. The performance really does work out to 300 tops. Here's the math. Like, that is some BDE if I have ever seen it. Just like... It's just
a brilliant GFY, isn't it?
Oh shit!
Oh, Falky made it.
Wait, you come here to park this car in the driveway, sir? Is that what we're doing?
I offer my sincerest apologies. The second you went to introduce us, I had a major issue to go and deal with, and I've been sitting here quietly listening for the last 15 minutes. And I didn't want to interrupt because it's been quite the conversation.
I didn't even realize. I'm sorry. I'm actually pacing in my office right now. My bad.
You're right.
Falky just snuck in here like Batman.
Falky snuck in here like Cerny snuck in these disses. Like, just didn't even notice. All went unassuming. Nobody's really talked about it. Like, these are hilarious.
They are. They really are. I watched it. I've watched it a couple of times. I like watching Mark Cerny when he's like that, because he's basically standing there lecturing people on, you didn't know how? Well, this is how smart I really am.
Yeah.
And the fact that AMD basically, like he said in the piece, we decided to go it alone because we didn't want to be stuck licensing software that we had no control over. So we went and built it ourselves, like it was something they just did in their lunchtime. We did all this extra proprietary work. We've decided that our AI is going to be better than anything we can buy or license. We've decided that our setup's going to be better, and we went and identified these problems and went, well, you know what, stuff it, we'll just fix it ourselves. And then AMD went, oh, we would like some of that. Can we join up with you, please? Please, sir, can I have some more? The amount of FUs that are in that, and so elegantly put. As you said before, yep, this is, you guys thought we couldn't do it, this is how we did it. And
it's the most passive aggressive way to like diss people. Like, Mark Cerny was just smooth with it.
I don't even think it's passive aggressive. I just think it's aggressive with a, like Falky said, with a very professional tone. Like, it's very okay. All of y'all are saying a lot of shit. Here's all the facts. And here's my math, because you're not going to believe me unless I show you my math. Here.
It's the number one thing. You want to state a claim on a number? Show me your math.
Just show me your math.
Show me your workings. I like. There was one part in there that I thought was a what do the kids call it this way? An alpha move, where he went, I'm explaining the front end thing with the bus and the bandwidth and all the rest of it. And then there's a second stage to it, which I'm just not going to talk about because it's not pertinent to the argument, which means no one picked him up on it. And then he goes to the third bit about the tops. And it's like, well, good luck. There's something in that middle bit that he obviously doesn't want anyone to see, but also people have not made a deal of it. So
yeah,
I like the conversation. He did it with the when he did the PS5, and he explained what was in that and what it meant and what it could do, and then he's done it again here. It's like, well, I appreciate that, because as he
this
said,
one feels like it has a little bit more bite to it than than the PS4 one. Like, it feels like he got really, like I said, dude, the smartest people in the room who get told, no, you're not that smart, they will figure out how to prove you wrong at the first chance they get.
the limitation here is, like you said, with Digital Foundry and all the other, supposed smart people, and is it Linus Tech Tips or whatever that other individual was who got into an argument with him about the SSD to begin with, or got in an argument with Tim Sweeney about the SSD stuff, and then ended up building a computer that melted because it couldn't perform. That the Digital Foundry and all the rest of them are going, that's not possible, we can't figure out how he's done that with the current technology. They don't have the ability to then concept what does the next step of iteration of technology look like. And Cerny pointed it out. We wanted to do this. Here was our problem. Here's how we solved it. Like when he goes, you do this piece with the bandwidth and the GPU working through the bandwidth, and he goes, I think at one stage he said, you do this in 1 millisecond and you lose 97% of that bandwidth. And it's completely inefficient. I was like, well, why would you bother? And he went, we fixed it by fusing it. Okay, that's a really simple but clever thing to do. And he goes, we're still not at 100% where we want to be. We got pretty close. And I was like, well, okay, pretty close is, what's the next step look like if you actually nail this thing? And it was a very good example, just to finish off on that point, it's a very good example of how they finessed an issue into this is what's going to work, because we could have done that, but we realized that was overkill and we didn't need to brute force this thing. We didn't need to just throw horsepower at it. We threw brains and sensibility at it, and we finessed our way through to something that, look at the PS5 Pro games at the moment that are absolutely gorgeous. And here's Mark Cerny saying, we're only just scratching the surface. We could make this thing better.
Yeah, and not to cut you off, that is something that really stuck out to me, is that instead of, and he dismantles all of the arguments, whether they're pointed at somebody or not, he dismantles everything that we knew about gaming. Everything. Because up to this point, it has been frame rate and resolution. Frame rate and resolution. You can't have one without the other. You can't make a good picture that moves smoothly. You can't. There's some companies that can. Most can't. There's frame dips, frame drops. There's latency issues. There's all this other stuff. And it just that up to this point, that has been what we have been focused on, myself included. It's no secret that if a game has bad glitching in it or screen tearing, I'm not playing that piece of shit until they fix it. I'm just not. And I will literally just put it down until they fix it, because it bothers me. I can't play games like that. And so Cerny comes out and goes, hey, you know what? Actually, none of that shit matters. What actually matters is taking an image and getting it to you in the most beautiful way possible, no matter what it looked like to start.
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't have to put T-flops in there. We don't have to have flopflation. We don't have to do all that. All we have to do is be smart and be efficient.
Yep.
Absolutely. The piece that excited me the most, other than having a good laugh at every time he threw barbs at people who he's obviously, there was zero F's given in that. He couldn't have cared less, but he was very, very classy about it. The thing that excited me was when he was talking about, and you were touching on it just before, when the resolution piece and what the baseline is, and that they can do it in like 720p or even lower.
Like 240.
270 was the lowest that they've gotten
270 to. 270 the lowest they could go.
Yeah. So 270p, which is getting back into the, way back when phase. There's an entire 2-hour conversation that we could have at another day about whether this can help. The PS5 Pro could run an emulator for PS.
It can.
PS games.
It could. Point. Don't tease me, Falky. We'll be here for the next 2 hours. Don't do that.
Yeah, we will. The exciting thing was when he said, "There's now no longer this need for developers to compromise on this stupidly big stack and explaining that stuff around the graphics and all the rest of it. They can just build it to this bare minimum, and the other part of it, this solo mini stack, will take care of getting it up to 4K or 8K, which tells me that native 4K is dead.
Yes.
You don't need to worry about native 4K. And what was the argument 4 years ago? PlayStation can't do native 4K. So PlayStation's no good. Well, there's a reason why they chose not to put that native 4K as a requirement in the PS5, because they knew they were going to be doing this. So, yeah, why would a developer now be looking at it going, Christ, we need to make this, the graphics department and all the coding in that up to the nth degree. We don't need to focus on that. Let's focus on the story. Let's focus on the gameplay. Let's focus on the other stuff that doesn't cost us a fortune to do. And let's not focus on all this graphical goodness that does cost us a fortune in time and labor and money and resources and expertise to do. So the efficiency in the hardware in making life easier is going to translate really quickly into beautiful looking games that are going to cost less to make, which is one of the biggest gripes that developers currently have, is it costs too much money to make these big, beautiful games, and it takes too long to make them. Well, now they don't have to, because the machine learning and the hardware stack can do it itself.
Ooh, I'm going to pick your brain real quick. Cosmic, do you have anything to say on this right this second? We'll come back to this.
I think, just real quick, I don't want to spend too long on this.
No, you're good.
Because I think this is, not only do I think this is an incredible breakdown of just what PlayStation, the Pro itself, can do, but I also feel as though this leads into what the future of the PlayStation consoles are going to be able to do. I think the PS6 is going to have all this stuff day one, and I think it's going to be able to help, like Falky said, it's going to help developers make their games easier. There's going to be a lot less time constraints, a lot less time wasted on things that they don't need to be, they could put their time towards something else, adding more missions to the game or adding more content to the game. They don't have to worry about, having to work around a certain architecture or certain, way the system is built, and just, I could listen if Mark Cerny held a college course class on this. I could sit there and listen to him talk about this for hours.
Dude, he could teach me how to code in like 5 minutes. I'd listen.
He's so incredibly smart, and I think really people really need to start listening to what he says. Like we listen to what he says. But the gaming media and the people on Twitter and on social media, they need to seriously listen to what he says, because every single thing this man has said has come true. It's not about the teraflops. It's not about power. Because if you got all that power, what good is it if you can't use all of it? It's like, it's like buying an expensive car, but you live in a small town and there's not much used to, take it anywhere.
Like having a Mustang in the middle of Central Park in New York.
Exactly. Like what use is it? There's no reason for, and that was the argument that was used against PlayStation. Like, oh, it's got lesser teraflops. That means it's less powerful and everything. Like, no, not exactly. Teraflops isn't everything. And Mark Cerny said this at the beginning of the PlayStation 5 generation through the road to the PS5. He said teraflops are not everything. And from day one, the PS5 was basically curb stopping the Xbox Series X in every third-party, game.
Yep. It was a shock when the game came out better on the Series X.
Like, it's like teraflops are not everything. And, I think the Pro really just kind of just even further accentuates that, that push, even though it's got 33 teraflops. But I do think that this is not only a great way to kind of cement what Mark Cerny is saying, like, this is him stating this. This is it. There is no questioning the PlayStation doesn't have this or that. Like, no, there's video proof. Mark Cerny literally had a a TED talk, on put on the PlayStation YouTube channel. There's literally receipts of this. You can look this up. There is no second guessing anymore. So, to me, I think I'm excited to see what they're gonna do in the future, and I want to see what they're gonna do. Like, maybe, and this is just like a hypothesis. Maybe they could get this technology into the new rumored PlayStation handheld. Maybe, or they could, do a whole bunch of other crazy things, and really help the developers get their dreams and their, what they want out there, and really have the game shine without having to have all this extra work to do.
Well, and so that's actually going to lead back into where I was going to kind of derail us a bit, and now it's not even a derail, it's just a segue. So we talk about all the time, and Falky, you brought up a great point that I didn't even think about, but Cerny did talk about it a lot, about making things easier for developers and making things to where it was more streamlined for them to get the games out faster, because if the super resolution can do the work, then they don't have to. It's a way to get it done faster, put the image in, and let the PlayStation clean it up and send it out, which is really kind of cool. But earlier in the show, we were talking about games like The Witcher 4. And if a game like that, or even Lost Soul aside, right? It's been in development for 97 years. It's going to be in development for another 87 before we finally get it. But, they have a release date for next year. And I have to, when you said that, my first two thoughts were The Witcher 4, because Jeff Keighley had talked about how that game was going to be down the road. It was right after he had talked about the next 10 years of gaming, 5 to 10 years of gaming. And so I hypothesized, the next decade, which was why I was super pissed off when I saw that it was The Witcher in that slot, but I was also super happy because, well, I'm a simp for Witcher 3. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. But, this game could, in theory, because it's running on UE5, because PSSR has had interaction now, real-world physical, not physical, but real-world machine learning interaction with UE5, all it's going to do is speed up that dev time, on the PS5 version at least. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's certainly worth. It's certainly an opportunity. So, and it comes back to a comment that I make a lot of times when they talk about the ballooning cost of AAA games. They could make the same Ghost of Tsushima. They could make the same game today in 2/3 the amount of time and half as much money. However, if they did that, 6 years on, 5 years, 6 years on from that, the game would get crucified because it hasn't advanced. So it's the developers choosing to put more stuff in that's making it more expensive. So if they're then not having, as I said before, not having to spend all that time, money, and effort doing the fine polishing to the nth degree that they've spent the last 12 months of the God of War Ragnarok doing, it was all just polishing the graphics. It was the same with Astrobot. Their last 6 months polishing the graphics. Look at what's come out. What was the other one that came out? Stellar Blade. 9 months just doing QA polishing graphics. If you don't have to,
it was a year just to do the hair.
Yeah, if you don't have to do that, then it's an insanely different landscape as to what do we spend our budget on. Do we even spend that much money on it? Because you can turn a $200 million game into a $100 million game development budget really quick if you don't have to spend $50 or $60 million just doing graphical improvements. And you've seen the jump they made just spending a couple of $1 million taking the Horizon Zero Dawn and plugging it into the Decima 2 engine and then hitting it with that revamp. That was just money for jam really to do that upgrade, and look at the difference it made. So when you think about if they're developing it from scratch, knowing that they're only going to do 270 or 420 or whatever it is that they're aiming at when they're doing it, and the ray tracing is built into that piece, and they're not putting it on afterwards, and they're not having to go through and redo the stacks because they're just doing it for one setup. Like, it sort of pulls the curtain back a bit on what they have to go through, and gives it a good idea as to why they're so friggin' expensive to make if you put that stuff in there. It's not like you just check a box. Well, up until now, it's not just tick a box and off you go. But with what this is looking at, you should be able to get, the Witcher. You referenced Witcher 4, or what was the other one you were talking about?
Lost Soul Aside.
Lost Soul Aside. Those sort of games that have been in development at different stages of that development. But using Unreal Engine, if Unreal Engine's being optimized to take advantage of the PS5 Pro, and you get that build version, and all you're doing is down tuning to make it run on the normal PS5, well, stand back from the fences and watch out. What these people will be able to do with that level of freedom, it may be that they start producing games at a higher standard faster for less money, which is great for the consumer to a degree, but then we'll end up with another massive flood of quality games. And again, it's at the AA level, which is really going to benefit from this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're the ones that have got to be savvy and got to be Scrooge McDuck with the funding that they've got. They don't have $100 million, $200 million budgets to blow into a game that may not even make it to market. They've got to get their game to market in a quick time and make it sellable.
Well, you'll be 2 to 20 million in it if you delay a game. It cost all like the dudes when they delayed Path of Exile 2 said it cost them about $20 million.
Yeah,
like
that's a lot of money.
It's not just the cost of the additional time and effort put into it. It's the cost of having to cancel all those release window, any marketing, any engagement deals. You then got to find another window to do it, and if you run up against another game, because you don't, I always have a chuckle when people say, "Oh, they're holding a game. It's ready to go. They're just holding on to it." It's like, that's a load of shit. They're not going to hold on to it for months and months and months. They've got it finished. They'll kick it out the door as soon as there's a good window for it. But you don't want to be kicking something out the door when there's 5 others of the same thing there. So timing is everything in life. But yeah, the less time I have to spend doing, and the graphical stuff is not the cheap stuff. The graphical stuff is the expensive stuff in terms of knowledge, expertise, finesse, and if as soon as they develop, the big studios that are really good with graphics understand how to do the upscaling and how to do the how to get it to work really, really well. And the Sony engineers who built this thing will know how to make it work because they've been testing it, and it will learn itself as well. So Sony said it feeds its own results back into its learning cycle. So it's obviously got something in there which says, that's crap, don't learn it. This is great, learn it. And if AI Sophie in Gran Turismo 7 is anything to go by, pretty crazy.
It's dude, it's nuts. And
what it can do.
So speaking of what it can do, like one of the things I was really surprised about was the last thing that Cerny talked about. I was not expecting any announcement whatsoever of anything new at all. Period. And what we got was actually an announcement of something new. And so let's listen to him and what he says on here. And it's actually pretty interesting.
Continue this work with a pinpoint focus on games. Of course, as part of their broader strategy, AMD is pursuing many of the same goals. And so I have some very exciting news to share. We have begun a deeper collaboration with AMD. For the project name, we're taking a hint from AMD's Red and PlayStation's Blue. The code name is Amethyst. With Amethyst, we've started on another long journey and are combining our expertise with 2 goals in mind. The first goal is a more ideal architecture for machine learning, something capable of generalized processing of neural networks, but particularly good at the lightweight CNNs needed for game graphics, and something focused around achieving that holy grail of fully fused networks. In going after this, we're combining the lessons AMD has learned from its multi-generation RDNA roadmap, and SIE has learned from the custom work in PS5 Pro. But ML use in games shouldn't and can't be restricted to graphics libraries. We're also working towards a democratization of machine learning, something accessible that allows direct work in AI and ML by game developers, both for graphics and for gameplay.
So, we get Project Amethyst. Now, I don't know if that's PS6. I don't know if that's what they're hoping to use for PS6. I have no clue. I know that Cerny just told me that they're working with AMD on something called Project Amethyst. So that's really cool. That's exciting. That this dude is already sitting there going, okay, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, got that out. That baby's done shipped. It's sold. People love it. Everything's going great. We're getting so much data back. And now I'm already moving on to the next thing. Like, I was surely expecting this dude was going to take, like, I don't know, maybe a 6-month break, maybe just chill out, maybe just take a breath, maybe. Nope.
Stop and smell the roses.
He strikes me as the kind of person who doesn't do boredom very well.
It's probably not. He strikes me. Honestly, I think that's why Elon Musk plays so many video games, because he's that type of guy too. And he even has said in interviews that if he sits around for too long, he just starts getting all these crazy ideas and I should do this, I should do that. He bought Twitter because he was bored. People like that are dangerous. Thankfully, Mark Cerny's on our side. That's all.
Yeah. It's another, and there was another dig in there when he referenced Team Red and Team Blue.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you have that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Team Red, Team Blue, and we're working together on some stuff that may or may not be included in their stuff, but it's certainly ingrained in our stuff, and we're going to reiterate it, and they're going to support it. It's like, well, good luck to anyone who thought that just throwing horsepower at these massive GPU units going into the PCs is going to make a difference. But it would be, and I put my hand up and say I'm not completely across all the machinations of PC GPUs. Noting that whatever they did that CGI thing for The Witcher 4 on was running on a unreleased GPU from NVIDIA, because it was an NVIDIA RTX something or other. But if that's if what AMD are doing doesn't end up in an NVIDIA product and it's not part of the NVIDIA build, then what's the step forward for the AMD GPU? What does that look like? Maybe NVIDIA will suddenly have some competition in a very serious manner. But then, what do we start running around and saying anyone who's got a PC with an AMD setup in it is effectively a PlayStation? Or are we allowed to do that? Or tongue in cheek, that is.
Just no. Honestly, I can't wait to look at somebody who gets the AMD 8700, whatever the next one is, because I think they're at 7700 now. Anyways, whatever next number iteration that they get, and I can look at them and go, oh, you have AMD super sampling or super sample resolution, do you? Yeah, Acer. Yeah, that actually was ours. That was ours first. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, we did that for you. You're welcome. Have a good day. No, man. I would never have anything from PlayStation. You do now.
Yeah. No avoiding it now.
And locking yourself into a particular brand in that manner, I've never understood that. Just if it gives you the satisfaction you want out of it, go for it. But they don't care. They just want your money. Right. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of this agreement, because as I said, they expect it to be a multi-year, which again alludes to their eyeing off what they're putting in the PS6. And as you said, typically a 4-year cycle for developing a console. So they started in 2020 and got the Pro out in 2024. if a sort of standard generation life cycle is 7 years, average is 7 years, then 2027, 28 should be the next, should be the limit for this one. So they must be already thinking about what they're putting in the next one. So, yeah, it'd be interesting. Very interesting to see what the next step is, because the PS5 was always sold on immersion and better ways to feel and play games and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, if they've basically said graphics, teraflops, all that stuff, it'll look after itself, because we've now built the technology. Like, we weren't happy with what others were offering, so we built it ourselves in our lunch hour, just because we were bored and had nothing better to do. Then whatever the next PlayStation will be, well, if the graphics look after themselves, and he's talking about applying AI and machine learning into those other areas of gameplay and mechanics and all that sort of stuff, we can't be too far away from having these things applied that he was talking about into AI characters in games, NPCs that can think for themselves, environments that can react to how you behave. The next level of immersion in gaming is going to be quite amazing. What I do appreciate, though, is that they haven't genuinely locked this thing up behind a massive brick wall with razor wire all over it and said only us can have it. They're partnering with someone else who can use parts of it if they like, which means that there's a huge amount of developers who are going to have access to this stuff. And again, PlayStation's not driving the stake home, saying that every game that you make must only be on our platform. Well, at least they're not at the moment, because it would cost them a fortune to do that. So there will be other platforms that get a benefit out of this. In particular, as I said, particularly if AMD can separate itself and be the nuanced graphics and gaming GPUs and CPU setups and all the rest of that. If NVIDIA is still going down the brute strength pathway, you will get a divergence in where you can enjoy and how you can enjoy them. And some developers will say, we just want to brute strength it, and others will say, no, we want to go down this other pathway. Because sometimes you don't need that finesse. But it was interesting when in that talk, the Sony was talking about, we looked at this and then realized it wasn't needed. So they're actively looking at the most optimal way of doing something, which again is quality and detail.
Which, to be fair, that's what, up until, by and large, that's what Sony is known for with the PlayStation brand. Is quality and attention to detail. That's what they're known for. Barring Concord, PlayStation All-Stars, a couple other games here and there, that is exactly what they're known for. They're known for quality, and they're known for attention to detail.
Concord wasn't yanked off the shelf, or wasn't yanked out of the play because it was poor quality. It was yanked out of the play for other reasons. But the gunplay mechanics and the finish on that was up to snuff. It was just no one wanted to play it.
Right, no one wanted to play it. I was just naming like the losses that they took, and in more of a general sense, and trying to apply that to the more specific argument. But like, just because that's what what do you mean Sony pays attention to detail and quality? Did you not see Concord? Like, I just try to get out in front of the the dumb people. Like, I really do. Like, that's.
It's fine, Thrifty. Just say it. Just say the word.
Well, like, apparently you can say it now, which is real weird, because like I've been training myself for 10 years to not say it, and so it's been like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore. So I just, no. Anyways, so 2025 and no, Game of the Year. Guys, oh shit. I'm gonna give y'all the Game Awards, okay? Y'all got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Cosmic Hero, what is your Game of the Year for 2024?
It is obvious. My Game of the Year is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I had absolutely loved the game. I have spent over 200 plus hours playing the game. I love it to death. Cannot wait for part 3 of the trilogy to see how this story ends up. It was a close between that and Astrobot, but Rebirth just ended up just taking it for me, man. I was smiling from ear to ear for the entire time. And not to say I wasn't for Astrobot, but Rebirth is my game of the year.
Okay, you didn't even take all your 3 minutes. Falky, what is your game of the year?
Tough. It's a tough one. I think Helldivers 2 for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
For this year. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I've never really been big on multiplayer games, but that one was just fun. Day one, got into it, played it with mates, had a great time for a couple of months, then moved on to some other stuff. Got a large number of honorable mentions. Most of them are indie games. But yeah, the Helldivers 2 for me. The sound. So it was between Helldivers 2 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and both of them because of the music. And music's a big thing for me in games. But the reason Helldivers 2's climbed to the top of the pedestal over Rebirth is Rebirth's. Everybody who's heard me talk about it knows how much of a frustration I had with the combat, and Helldivers 2 was just so much fun. Friendly fire should always be on in any shooter. But yeah, Helldivers and the music though, the build up when you're getting ready, and then when you launch, and the sound crushes you coming down, and you hit the ground, and then you pop out, and you get that crescendo, and then it's just crickets. And as you work through the missions, it gets a bit louder and it gets a bit more intense when the music lifts with the battles, and when you have the engagements. And then when it starts to you get overwhelmed with enemies, the music really gets up and going, and then you call for the extraction, and it hits that tune, and the whole thing lifts another 10 decibels. It's just goosebump stuff. Whether you're playing it solo on the easy missions just for a bit of fun, or you're in there with 3 others absolutely getting carved up, and the amount of fun, just like it ragdolls when you get killed. You don't just sort of drop, pop down or whatever. You ragdoll halfway across the map. You get thrown, you get launched, you pop back down, you can drop on things with your pod when you're coming back in and kill them. It's just, it's just fun. It's just an awful lot of fun. So at this stage of the year, I'd say Helldivers 2 was my game of the year.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I've been torn between 2 games for game of the year pretty much since Metaphor came out, because all year it's been a tie pretty much all year, hand in hand, between Stellar Blade and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And then Metaphor came out and knocked Stellar Blade off the list. Out of the top 2, it's my 3rd favorite game of the year. But man, each one has a certain quality about it that makes them so hard to choose, because the sound quality in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is absolutely epic, but the battle music in Metaphor is some of the most haunting and earworm type of music I've ever heard. Like, the chanting that happens while you're fighting to kind of this electric, like EDM type music, but it has this chanting over. It's so just interesting the way they melded those two together. But if push comes to shove, at the end of the day, I'm a Square Enix shill, so I have to go with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It's amazing. It's such a damn, like, I'm watching on our stream. I'm watching the gameplay video I did, and man, it's just so good. And now on the Pro, it's
even better.
It's one of the best looking games I've ever played. It's so good. Everything is clean. All the lighting is good. It's crisp. Oh my god. Everything about the game is top notch and top tier. And I think that's what sets it apart from the rest of the games that came out this year, is that I can find a flaw in almost every game. In this one, the flaw was that if you stared at it at the right angle and in the right scenes, it was blurry as shit on the character's hair, and they had like this really weird blurry aura around them. That got fixed on the Pro. That's no longer an issue, at least for me and everybody else who has a Pro. But like, that's mine. That is my game of the year. And guess what? In about 2 months, when we talk about the games that we loved from 2024, I might change my mind and put Metaphor back up there. Or Stellar Blade. Because honestly, I can interchange those dang games because they're all three freaking sick. And that's my 3 minutes. I actually timed myself too. Just to keep it fair. But Falky, I'm so happy you were able to join us. Guys, in the chat, there's 31 of y'all. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank y'all so much for showing up. Tonight has been so much fun. We talked about games. We talked about passion. We talked about the PlayStation, about the Xbox, about everything. It's absolutely insane. We talked about how Microsoft has come to the magical realization that Hellblade 2 probably would have sold more if it was available on the PlayStation at launch. I don't know why they're just now coming up with these revelations, but hey, better late than never. And thank you to Stephen Leon for gifting those members. You can pick up your own by hitting the join button down below. Also, remember, at ThriftyPSGR, at ThriftyPS_GR, we have a guild going on Path of Exile 2. It is available to members only first. I want the first 10 slots to be filled up with members, and then if there's more interest from the rest of the community at large, we'll open it up to everybody else. But that is one of the perks that you get for being a member of the channel. With that, Cosmic, have you started your YouTube channel yet?
Oh God, I knew you were going to ask me that.
Yeah, damn straight I'm going to ask you that. Have you done it?
Okay. I created the channel.
Fair enough.
I created, so Wara showed me this really cool app called Canva.
Yeah.
I've been creating basically everything in Canva. And it looks, I'm really happy with it. I might start my first episode on like the new year. I think it's a little late to start a first episode of a podcast of a YouTube channel this late in the year. I've got a vacation coming up and I'm going somewhere, so I won't be able to do it. But I think by next year, the first episode should be all getting ready up and going.
That's awesome, guys.
I'm really excited. I'm glad that everybody kind of appreciates what I have to say. Usually half the time when I'm blabbering off, half the time some people are just like, eh. But it's cool that some people want to hear what I have to say, and I shall share my thoughts with the audience.
I'll be honest, it is really cool. It's also very humbling and very surreal. Like, it's all of that at the same time. And when they start giving you money for your thoughts, that's even stranger. But also super appreciative. Falky, what about you, man? Why don't you have a channel yet? Like, you go on to everybody else's shows and you let all of us get all the super chats and all the members and all of this crap, and would dang good and well you could do your own, you could have your own channel and you'd be an instant success. So anyways, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, if there's anybody left on Twitter, at Forky87. You see me living in the wild, wild west out there. Or you can, as you just alluded to, you can find me poking my nose in all these different podcasts when people ask me to show up and when things go right and I can show up. So, again, I offer my apologies for being there at the just before the intro and then disappearing for most of the show and then popping back up at the fun stuff at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
Probably a good reason why, to give you an explanation as to why I don't have one, because as you know, it takes timing, planning, effort, energy. You got to have stuff set up and stuff working, and my life is so much chaos. It's easier for me to just show up and talk on someone else's show.
Yeah, poor man was at the beginning. I literally saw his icon popped up, and then it disappeared, and then he was gone for an hour, 2 hours.
And he texted me what was going on, and I was like, you know what? You're totally fine. You go handle that, because that is super important. But, like, guys, you are right. There is a lot of effort. There is a lot of stuff. There is a ton of shit that goes into this. If you're doing it with the intent of actually making a high-quality show. If you just want, like, hey, we're just going to hang out and talk, fine. But, like, and I say high quality not in the sense of like how many viewers you have. I'm just saying an overall production value. Like that crap takes time. Like editing one of my videos takes usually about an hour to an hour and a half. Like the 5-minute video I did over the 5 reasons why you should play Path of Exile 2, it literally took me like 45 minutes to edit a 5-minute freaking video. And it's because I added text to it. I had to cut things. I had to get stuff lined up just right. So the text that I was adding matched up with the actual point that the audio was making. And if, dear God, if something messed up and got clicked to the wrong spot, then you're there for 30 more minutes trying to figure that out. Like, it sucks so bad sometimes. But I love it, guys. I love it. I do not want any of this to sound like I don't love doing this, because it is a blast. And Stephen Leon, it's almost midnight my time. How are you still awake? Anyways, guys, truly appreciate everything. Sleeve Monkeys, y'all have a wonderful night. Everybody else, you do the exact same. Once again, thank you again. I have nothing else to say. Now I'm just talking myself in circles. I'm going to hit the end stream button. I'm tired. Y'all have a great night, and stay thrifty.